It's early. I wonder if I should use the light right there, so I'm not sure. Welcome in, y'all. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Welcome in, welcome in. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm just sharing the live out real quick. Give me a second. Good morning, good morning. If y'all can, definitely share the live out to everybody. Share the live out to folks, no matter who it is. Just, let's get some folks in here. Let's have a conversation about anger management. Because, Lord Jesus, we need it. This live might trigger a few folks. Thank you, baby. Do I have access? Did I give you guys access to create polls? I don't think I did. Let me double check. Y'all should be able to. I think you guys should have it. Hey, Triplet. What up, Hormiga? What's good, brother, man? What's going on? What's going on? Mama G, welcome in. So, topic of the day, anger management. Ivy, welcome in. Topic of today is anger management. And this is going to be a series of lives that we're going to be doing. It's not just going to be one live. It's probably going to take a couple of weeks to finish, completely tackle what anger management is and the details that entail. So it's going to be probably a good couple of weeks, probably a little bit longer, before we can finish tackling this whole scenario. Ivy, good morning. Welcome in. What's going on? What's going on? So if y'all can, everybody share the live out. Share the live out to 15 folks. Let's get some people in here. On a scale of 1 to 10, everybody, rate your mental health from 1 to 10. Yeah, I know. Grand Rising, Charlene. Hey, Mika. Welcome in. So let's get everybody in here. A 6. Your numbers is getting better and better, Miss Ducky. Good morning. Your numbers is getting better and better, Miss Ducky. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Triplet, I seen you said you was at a 7. Charlene said she about an 8. Mama G said God woke her up in time. I love to hear it. I love to hear it. We got a 7. Mermaid, welcome in. Mika, Mermaid, rate your day 1 to 10. Rate your mental 1 to 10. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. You on a mini vacation? Let's go. All right, let's go. Yeah, I know the kids are out of school, huh? Thank y'all for the heart, me. Appreciate you. Let's keep tapping it up, tap it up, tap it up, tap it up. Tap it up.
Hello.
What's going on? Antique, welcome.
Oh, I didn't even mean to click that.
Not
I'm
you.
over tapping all over the screen, but I was.
Gotta get together. Hey, man, you here now. You here now. Um, I was doing a lot of you stuck. You stuck now. You here. We here now. Oh man. But listen, we got a lot to talk about. Okay. Anger management is one of those things. It's gonna be one of those things. Harmika,
I'm trying to figure this to see a piece.
we're gonna have a long couple of weeks, my guy. It's gonna be a long couple of weeks. It's gonna be a long couple of weeks. But I feel like it's a conversation need to be had. It's a topic that we have never touched on ever. Like ever. We've never talked about anger management. So we might trigger a few folks. Some folks might not like what's being said. in regards to this topic, but
After
it's
that
needed.
video last night, I'm definitely not going to like what's being said, but I need to hear it anyway.
Facts. Good morning, King. Good morning. Oh, good morning, Dev. Yeah, it's a touchy subject, and I know what I was
Sometimes what
doing.
you need to hear is not as butterflies and cupcakes as you want it to be. Life ain't always that. So sometimes you gotta get the hard, honest, brutal truth.
Oh, that's fact. And if you guys are in the Discord, right? Under the mental health resources, I did post a link for understanding anger in the Discord. So after we have this live, I advise folks to go read into that a little bit so you guys can have a better understanding. Cause like I said, this is gonna be a couple of weeks, and I want people to be able to jump into the conversation instead of just listening and learning. I want y'all to jump in the conversation so that way you guys can let us know what you guys learned in the next couple of weeks of us having this topic. You know what I'm saying? Because this is not an easy one, guys. Matt, welcome in. This ain't gonna be an easy one, but it's gonna be one that's necessary. Um, damn, anger management. Lord Jesus. I don't know why I put myself through this, but I'm doing it. We're here. We're here now. We are here now. Ormiga, how you feeling? I think you're still trying to get yourself together over there. What's up, Matt, bro? Make sure y'all following Mississippi Matt, infamous Matt in the chat, man. Matt is a coach, a business coach. He is the truth. All right. Matt has also been a part of my journey of me building this platform. Kind of gave me a lot of tips and tricks. So make sure y'all following Matt in the chat, y'all. That boy is the truth. So let me find my notes here because Lord Jesus. Mm, 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 mm. Appreciate you. You ready, Hormiga? I'm just trying to make sure that your audio is working, everything is good on your end. No, Tento. What's good, Tento? Long time, brother.
This
All right,
internet
so
that not that good looking.
yeah, I'm just making sure that his stuff is working. Everybody that's here, please hit that poll and rate your mental 1 to 10. There's something going on with his audio. All right, so just to give you guys just a quick paragraph on what we're going to be talking about is pretty much understanding anger and anger management. Anger is an emotion. Anger is a normal, healthy emotion, neither good nor bad. Like any emotion, it conveys a message telling you that the situation is upsetting, unjust, and threatening. If your knee-jerk reaction to anger is to explode, however, that message never has a chance to be conveyed. So while it is perfectly normal to feel angry when you've been mistreated or wronged, anger becomes a problem when you express it in a way that harms yourself or others. You can't hear anything. Exit out the app completely. Exit out the app completely and come back. Exit out the app completely. Yeah, go reset your phone completely and come back. TikTok, and there might be an update for TikTok too, so check that update. What is it? It won't let you vote. You should be able to vote even as a mod.
She doesn't have anything to vote on. She didn't put anything, so it's not giving us the option to click. It's 0 throughout the whole entire vote. It says 1, 2, 3, 4, but I don't think
Yeah, no, yeah. If you
can.
scroll, it gives you.
But honestly, I don't think moderators can, because every time I put a poll and I try to answer the poll or somebody else puts the poll, I can never answer it as a moderator, and I don't think other moderators can either. Deb is not a mod. Deb, can you answer the poll, or Ducky? One of y'all,
Hey,
whoever's
Deb,
not
try
a
to
mod.
answer the poll to see if you can. Mods can't.
Yeah, mods
I
can.
did answer the poll.
That's
I
weird.
knew it. Yeah, I don't think mods can answer the poll.
That's okay. Okay, so you was able to. All right. Yeah, that's a little weird.
Charlene, at the top there, that little clipboard, that's the poll.
There's a little clipboard like right here.
Yeah, right there. That's
It's
the
like right
poll.
here. If you click that clipboard, you can be able to answer the poll. So while we have 14 people in here, I need everybody to tap the screen. Can we share the live to everybody, to 15 people? We got 14 people, so we got one person for 15 people. So if y'all can, definitely share the live out. What's up, Cali Beauty? Welcome in. I feel like a lot of people definitely need to hear this live. They're gonna need it. Okay, a lot of us need it. I'm one of them because I've been working on my anger for the longest time. And I think I've done a great job so far of controlling my anger and controlling my emotions a little bit in regards to that. So this is gonna be a learning experience for me as well.
Man, you better give yourself more credit than that. Cause
I'm,
if you were back in the day and the shit that was going on recently, you would have. So
I
give
know,
yourself more credit.
I know.
You've been doing real good. You've been giving me my credit. I'm giving you your credit. Cause I know for a fact, especially cause you from BK, you from New York. We don't play that. I'm saying we like I live in New York. I don't live in New York. Y'all don't play that.
Bully, welcome in. Yeah.
I said we. Listen, I live there spiritually through
Listen,
Sheila.
I'm trying to tell you. I thought you was from New York at first. I ain't gonna
She,
hold you.
she does give New York vibes, doesn't she?
She
Everybody
does give
knows
New York
I was
vibe.
born and raised in New York. I
Good
swear.
morning, good morning, good morning. Thank y'all for sharing live. Thank you for the heart puffs. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
But I don't
It.
I don't necessarily think that she might have Bronx or Brooklyn vibes. She might have Queens vibes or Staten Island.
I sense a little bit of Queens in there. I
Yeah,
sense a
yeah,
little bit of
yeah.
Queens in there. For sure. I sense a little bit of Queens in there.
It's a bad thing.
It's
It's
not.
it's a different thing.
Oh, I
It's a
don't.
different environment. It's a different environment for sure. So listen, y'all. We're gonna blame Hormiga for this conversation that we're about to have. I'm blaming you right off the bat.
I,
Just to
I
let you.
I'm gonna take it because honestly, we need that smoke today.
Okay, so we'll bring the smoke. So I'm gonna let you start first. I'm gonna let you go first, since this was your topic and we gonna rock it out.
Absolutely. Let me start with class by saying, welcome in everybody. Thank you, host, for having me. It's always a pleasure. Thank you for the people that are on the panel right now. Um, yes, this topic is very important because I don't think people understand anger management. Anger management is not always a good thing because managing your anger is allowing anger to exist. So you're
Mm,
either going to build a coping mechanism to deal with it and keep it alive, or you're going to try to abolish it totally. And here's the thing, you need to understand anger as a whole, but then you also need to understand your anger. You need to understand your anger. Where does it come from? Where does it start? Where does it stem from? And one of the biggest things that I haven't heard anyone talk about in TikTok, and I've been on TikTok for quite some time, close to 4 years, is rejection. Rejection is a big part of anger because you only have but so much rejection that you could take in your life before you react a certain way, be done with it as a whole, or be able to look at it and say, I'm tired of losing. I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of being tired. So again, what you want to do with your anger is very important before you start looking into your own anger. I'm telling you this from experience because I was an angry little boy and then I became an angry man.
talk about it.
And that angry man started realizing that you don't get a chance to think about anything before you do it because anger, when it's set in place, you react fast. It's a snappy situation. You're being snippy, you're being disgusting with your attitude,
I'm
and
not
anger doesn't
analyzing.
allow you to process anything.
Right.
So that's my initial introduction to anger. I used anger in the gym to motivate myself and use the physicality to channel the spirituality and the intellectualness But then I realized that I couldn't continue to work out anymore because I wasn't angry anymore. So I saw the effect, the positive effects that I had on me, and then I saw the negative effects that I had on me back to positive and switching back and forth. You can use anger as a tool, but we're going to talk about that later because nobody is really ready to use anger as a tool. Because when you use it without having the skills for it, you end up lashing out at people. You end up attacking yourself. It's not
Right.
just the anger that you have with the environment, it's the anger that you have within yourself because most people that are angry are really upset with themselves.
That part.
Go
And
for it.
and I'll give you guys a little tidbit on kind of how I've been managing my anger for the last, I want to say, 10 years. I would say, because I've been an angry individual for quite some time, and I've been kind of just suppressing it in a sense. Um, I want to say I want to say like I used to use football as a tool to kind of hone in on my anger. So when we used to play football, I would unintentionally, intentionally try to hurt somebody because I was trying to let my anger out. You get what I'm saying? And you don't know the strength that you have when you're angry. And that goes for man and woman. We don't know how strong that we are until we become angry. And that's why they say to hone into violence or to harm somebody is an unhealthy way to deal with your anger, because you don't know the damage that you can do to an individual when that happens. And I've been on the other side of that. I've been the person to cause that. Just being transparent with y'all, because I wasn't always this ray of sunshine, people. Um, you know what I'm saying? I was a cause of it. I've been on the other side of it. Um, some people's energy, some people's anger, it's like dealing with the Hulk in a sense. They have no sense of pain. They have no sense of anything. The anger, it feels so deep that it literally becomes like a superpower.
You're right about the Hulk because you go from a regular person into an enraged person, and then when you come back from your rage, you don't even realize the damage that you caused. You
Nope.
black out sometimes.
So can I tell you a backstory about that? That I definitely can agree with that because one time, right, mind you, I am 5'1". I was all of like 140 pounds. This lady that was a manager used to always mess with me, always, and I'm the type, if you see me get mad, then you see these tears come out. It is not because I'm scared of you. It's because I'm scared of what I'm going to do to you. And she tried to use that against me. She seen me getting mad. She seen the tears coming down. I'm trying to. She was like, "What you crying? You scared?" Instantly snap. When I tell you I blacked the hell out, it took for me to watch the video with the other managers to see if they were gonna fire me or not, to see the power that I had. This woman was all of 6'7", almost 400 pounds. And I literally destroyed this woman, all of 5'1". I don't know where it came from. I surprised. I'm looking at the video like it's not me in the video. I'm like, oh, I, holy sh. And that's because I blacked the hell out. And
I
I
need to see this video.
a lot when I get angry. So I definitely was made to be here because when I tell you Callie didn't let me get no sleep, so I was in and out of sleep all day. I was tired as hell. But when I tell you God woke me up at 9:01 exactly to look at that phone for a reason, I was meant to be here.
Absolutely, absolutely. And listen, y'all, this topic here, everybody can relate to this topic. Okay, there's not a person on this planet that can say that they don't have some type of sort of anger to them in a situation in their life. Everybody's dealt with anger in a way. And
And
if
and
somebody
and
tells you that
it, I'm
they haven't, they're full of shit.
I was about to say the same thing. I'm like, don't you dare. You know what? If you're going to not say that you have never been angered or angry, then you need to leave this life right now.
Because you're gonna get angry. Because you're gonna get angry. You're
Yeah,
gonna get
you
pissed
know
if you
what's
stay
funny
on here.
is that when you realize what anger really is and where it comes from, you get more angry.
Oh yeah, that self reflection's a bitch, isn't it?
Especially when somebody says, "But why are you so angry? Why are you so angry?" Doesn't that get you a little bit ticked off? Like, I'm not angry, I'm passionate.
Yeah, but there's a difference. There's
Right.
a difference.
You
There's a
can be angry
difference.
and being passionate, but people
We're
always be
not
like,
gonna do that,
"Why are you
Hormiga.
so angry?"
We're not gonna do that, Hormiga. We're not going we're not gonna do that. We're not
Listen,
gonna do
listen,
that.
listen. Let me tell you something. First of all, I don't like to promote this a lot, but I like to keep it real. First of all, happy 420 day, because that is another coping mechanism. We're not going to promote
Happy
it.
420.
We're not going to advocate for it here, but happy 420 for those that enjoy this type of holiday and these type of events.
Absolutely.
What I want to say about that is whatever it is that you do in life, do it responsibly, especially anger management.
I wanna do some shit, right? You ready?
I hope so.
I found this website. Okay. It gives the myth and you know I love my myth and facts. I for some reason I love the myth and facts. It's just amazing. I love when they give me these things, and we're gonna play this game today. All right, and this is for everybody in the chat and everybody in the box. We're playing myth and facts. Tell me if it's true or false the things that I read. Y'all ready? Let's go. I shouldn't hold in my okay myth. I shouldn't hold in my anger. It's healthy to vent and let it out.
True.
Ouch.
Harvika,
Was I wrong?
hold on. No, I'm gonna let everybody answer, Harmiga. We're gonna let everybody give their
I'm
answers.
not saying nothing.
You're gonna have to.
Listen, Rocky Balboa, come to the front of the stage.
Hold on. Wait. That was just the first sentence. It gets better. It gets better. Get ready. While it's true suppressing and ignoring anger is unhealthy, venting is no better. Anger is not something you should have to let out in an aggressive way in order to avoid blowing up. In fact, outbursts and tirades only fuel the fire and reinforce your anger problems. That's fact. So everybody that said true to that myth, I want y'all to rethink that.
There's no answer for it then because it says yes, and then in the same sentence it says no.
Think about it though. There's levels to it.
I mean, I didn't think of when I said venting. I didn't think of like lashing out in anger. I thought just letting it out. Hi, Cece, letting it out in a healthy way, talking to somebody who can help
There's
you.
that's why I said there's levels to it.
Right.
Yeah, anger never sounds smooth. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
There's nothing that sounds smooth about venting your anger.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. People must think that it sounds like this. Listen, I'm angry and I want to share this with
CC.
you. No, that's not how it sounds.
All right, I got another one for you. Y'all ready? Anger, aggression, and intimidation helps me earn respect and get what I want. That's a myth. That's what it says as a myth.
False. Nobody who fears you respects you. They just fear you.
So, y'all ready for the fact? Respect doesn't come from bullying others. People may be afraid of you, but they won't respect you. If you can't control, if you can't control yourself or handle opposing viewpoints, others will be more willing to listen to you and accommodate your needs if you communicate in a respectful way. I know it's hitting a lot of people a little bit because I know a lot of people don't like to hear these things. But we just thought we'd just bring you some facts and myths a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Mm, Hormiga's fuming at the gates over there. I can already see it. Okay, I got one more, and I got one
Ormiga
more
got
for you.
that. Oh, King is making my a itch. Like
Yeah,
Jerry said.
I'm definitely making his ass itch right now. Yep. I got one more. Ready? One more, and then I'm gonna give Hormiga the floor. Um, I can't help myself. Anger is something you can't control. That's the myth. I can't help myself. Anger is something you can't control.
That's a two-part
Oh,
myth.
That's a twofer.
Yeah,
That's a
that's a two.
twofer.
Pay attention. That's a two-part myth. In the
That's a
myth,
twofer.
in the myth, there could be some reality,
right.
but it's called a myth because the complete sentence doesn't
It
work.
doesn't make sense, right?
Right.
Yeah, I'm glad
It's
that
an
somebody's paying
oxymoron,
attention.
right?
I'm just seeing it. Everybody's paying attention to what's going on right now. You know what I'm saying? The myths are not giving you complete sentences; they're giving you fillers.
Mm,
That's the whole part about the myth. That the myth is going to tell you what you think it is.
right.
Now, the fact to that one. Ready for this one? You can't always control the situation you're in or how it makes you feel, but you can control how you express your anger. And you can communicate your feelings without being verbally or physically abusive. Even if someone is pushing your buttons, you can always have a choice about how you respond.
Right, Dios mío.
Go ahead, Army. This was your
The
topic, sir.
Spanish came out. Ay, Dios mío.
There's a reason because look,
Good morning.
I am a firm believer that you cannot control anger. Myth or truth. You cannot control anger because anger is one of the most uncontrollable emotions that you could have. What's the point of controlling your anger? You're allowing your anger to exist. Anger is very unpredictable.
Very much so.
That's the problem. That when you try to control anger, you are leaving room for one day that anger is going to come out in the worst way. Haven't we all been guilty of lashing out and saying things that we regret and wish that we could take back?
Yeah,
So that's what I'm talking about. Even
I,
to this day, when people are tickled in the wrong way, they say some far left things.
absolutely. I've
So
seen it
and
happen.
so this is why I say when you set levels to anger, it starts off with the awareness. It starts off with the coping mechanisms because you're not going to get rid of anger from one day to another in a week, in a month,
Talk about it.
in
Talk
months.
about it.
It's not going to happen. Like
Good morning, Cherry.
I used to be angry, but today, from now on, I'm not angry anymore. Yeah, right.
Bullshit.
Yeah, right. First of all, it takes, I don't even know how long it takes because for me, I went through an accelerated pace where I didn't want to be angry anymore. People don't want to be around angry people.
They don't.
Angry people are one of the most appalling people that you could be around because who wants to be around a person? Because usually an angry person will say something negatively. They'll make their point and say, "You don't understand how angry I am," and you know what? Dun, 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 dun. That you know what? After that part when somebody says, "You,"
And
as a
when
matter of fact,
that's that filler. That's that filler before they go off.
and
That's
then
that
you got
filler
Mama
before they
G that'll
go off.
say, "Listen, I don't even care anymore." You understand what I'm saying? I'm done with this. You understand what I'm saying? How she lashes out because
And then that vein pops up.
she knows that the conversation is not going anywhere.
Right.
She knows that there is no other way that this conversation is gonna go except down a rabbit hole of continual back and forth, tick for tack, hitting below the belt. People become enemies because of anger. Have you
Can
ever
we?
been? Have you ever wanted to be friends with someone who's angry?
No.
So again, it's a stage when you talk about when people come and say you need to have coping mechanisms. You're right, temporarily.
Mm-hmm.
Temporarily, you learn how to manage it because it's still a part of you. And until you start removing this from you, you need coping mechanisms to get by, to realize what triggers you, what's pushing you that direction. Look, let me tell you something. There's smells that'll get you angry. There are any one of your senses. There's things that food, the consistency of food, could get you angry.
Right. Right.
So, but that means that if because there are people that are angry people. That is their character. That is their personality. And that's horrible if that is your personality. Now, you can get angry, things can get you angry. You can allow things to get angry. But if you are an angry person, 9 times out of 10, something's going to get you upset, something's going to get you mad, and something's going to make you lash out.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Is anger masking other feelings
Yes.
in regards to like embarrassment, insecurities,
Yes.
shame,
Yes.
vulnerability?
Yes. Yes. The inability to deal with shame can cause anger because you don't want to feel a certain way. So you allow the demon to come out to protect you. And when that demon comes out, you're not helping the situation at all. You're making it worse because at some of those points, we need accountability. We need to be able to say you're right. We need to. It took good people. You have to be around good people. You have to be around good people that you trust because an angry person is not just going to listen to anybody because
What's
they're
good,
going to say,
brother?
you know what, mind your business. You don't like it, you don't have to be around me. That's not a coping mechanism. That is deflection. That is rejection.
What's
That
up,
is,
baby?
and then here's the other thing about anger. Angry people think that everybody's going to behave the way that they behave. So they project this into people without even having a word. Oh, you look like someone. You look like someone that I could either get angry or is gonna get angry. So you are predicting that someone's gonna get angry in a conversation. So you know what you're gonna end up doing without even noticing? You're gonna initiate it. Before you get angry with me, let me give you a reason.
Talk
Ouch.
about it. Talk about
Ouch.
it. Talk about it. Good. Talk about it.
That's a
Go ahead.
big.
Take it there.
I even felt that. I said it and I felt it. So I know that people that are listening right now, some people get up in the morning like this. Some
Whole
people
chest
get
out
up
the way.
angry. Some people get up angry. What kind of a day do you think you're gonna have? Is the first emotion that you feel is anger?
The shitty ass day. Good morning. It's gonna be
It,
one tough day for you.
there's a lot of energy that comes from anger. When people come down from their anger attack, they feel defeated. They feel depleted. They feel useless. They feel like this world would be a better place without me.
Listen, that come to Jesus moment after you let all that shit out.
Come to Jesus.
Listen, it happens. We all have done it.
Feel guilty as hell.
I'm telling you, I'm a true believer that I've really been working on my anger because the person that I was before was punching holes in walls,
Oh,
was like, you get what I'm saying? I was like, I was angry. I was an angry individual. You get what I'm saying? And it was like, it was unhealthy. It was unhealthy to be that angry because people that were never scared of me were scared of me because of my anger. And it wasn't because that they were like fearful of me. It was because they were scared of what I could do to myself if I was so angry.
ooh. One of the biggest myths, my brother, is that people feel as though they need their anger to be respected.
Right.
Respect my anger. What?
Right.
What? Respect your anger? Because you know what's going to happen if I get angry, right?
Right.
Well, how about this? For those that have been disciplined by their parents through this, right?
Right.
For those that have been, haha, oh shit about to get crazy.
Go
For
for it.
those that
Take
have,
it there.
oh man,
Go ahead, take it. I mean, this is your
woo!
idea, sir. Take it there. Go for it.
For those that have been touched by their parents in a disciplinary way through harsh punishment or harsher punishment, remember that time when you stood up to your parent and you say, "You're not gonna hit me anymore."
I'm from a
You,
Caribbean family. We don't do that.
it, get-
Puerto Rican.
it gets to a point.
We Puerto Rican. We don't
It
do
gets to a point where you stand up. You think you're standing up. I mean, I get what you're saying. You think you're standing up, and you go, "You are not about to hit me anymore." And then they go back for reinforcements. They go get the other chancla. You know, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Manifest said something. He said, growing up in the hood, I wasn't a hard individual. I became angry to protect myself.
Oh wow, that's kind of the bully, the
I
person
think I
that
can
was
kind of
bullied.
relate to that.
Yeah, everybody should be able to relate to that because the truth of the matter is, have you ever seen someone where they're boiling up inside and they start clenching their fists and they start look
Tapping your
they
feet.
start no they start getting
No, they
nervous.
start digging
They
in their
start
skin.
shaking.
Yeah.
Tears might come out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Their face turns into somebody you don't even recognize.
Hey, Melinda.
You know, um, oh my God. This is what I try to tell people. You could only manage anger but for so long because if you continue
Right.
to manage and let it and allow it to continue to be a part of your life, that's a myth. The myth is that you will forever live with anger. That
Good
is a myth.
morning.
If you put in the work and you start reading and understanding what anger is, when you start realizing where anger comes from, first of all, when you realize what you've done and how weak, because people think that you're weak when you're angry. First of all, loss of control is not a weakness.
Somebody
Loss
silence
of
this
control
dog.
is lack of understanding.
Right.
So again, I've seen it. I was the Hulk. I was that kid that they kept on picking on and pushing and picking on, and your nose starts getting a little bit open
Start
because
flaring.
yeah, people don't see the signs when somebody's getting upset, but then there are people that will push the envelope and will try to see how far you will go with your anger. And guess what? I'm going to tell you something. The monster is not the person who shows anger. The monster is the person that on purpose gets you angry. That's the real monster.
You know who you know what's a real monster? The person that's disciplined enough. The person that's disciplined enough to stay silent because they know how what they're capable of.
You got to be careful with that because honestly speaking, there is no better way to deal with anger than to express it. The problem is that you don't know what's going to happen when you're
Yeah,
angry.
but there's different levels of expressing it, right? Are we gonna we
When
have
you're
to tap
angry.
into that. Different levels of expressing it, right?
That's the background. Yeah, there's different levels of expressing it, my brother, but you are not in control when it gets to that peak.
When it
You
gets
feel
to that
it
peak,
goes
no,
like
yeah.
this. Look,
Yeah, when it
bam.
gets to that peak and you explode, then yeah. You gotta find some way to let it out in spurts. Right? If you
Yeah,
don't
in the
let it out
beginning, in the beginning.
in the beginning, if you don't okay, all right. All right, fuck the education, right? Like we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. But we gotta keep in mind everybody's anger level is different, right?
Yes.
We I can only speak for myself, and I can probably speak for Hormiga because we've had conversations about these things on multiple occasions. Um, I've taught myself how to practice silence in a way where it doesn't overwhelm me. My anger doesn't overwhelm me. It takes a form of meditation, right? It takes a form of understanding yourself and how far you're willing to go, right? It takes a different level. It takes a different level. Not everybody's there. Not everybody's there. We're having this conversation, but I just want to be transparent with everybody before we get too deep in it. This is gonna become a learning curve for a lot of people.
We got to echo. Mute your
I
mic
got
for a
it.
second. Welcome in, Manifest.
This is gonna become a learning curve for a lot of people. Okay? This is a part of your process. It may not be in the book, but it's a part of the process. It's something that you have to practice. Okay, it's probably going to be the hardest thing to practice is your anger. This is why we've never had this conversation on this platform because it's a triggering thing. Hold on, I got you, Earl. I got you, bro. It's a triggering thing to have this conversation because most people, one, they don't want to hold themselves accountable, right? In regards to this, they think the anger that they have is just okay to have. It's not okay to have because you don't know the people that you can damage. You don't know the people that you can hurt. And I'm not talking about physically. I'm talking about emotionally. I'm talking about intellectually. I'm talking about spiritually. You can literally hurt somebody within your anger. Okay, I want to keep that in mind for everybody that's listening here. Yeah, we're talking about our personal experiences, but I want you to think about the most. the moment that you had in your life that was completely. I got you. No, let me finish the. Let me fix the layout. The situation that you had that really got you to that point. That really got you to that point. While we're all in here together, I want everybody to think about it.
Let me add
That
something to that. Let me add something to that real quick.
Go for it.
When you think about this moment, because you know that you're on the right track, and this is what I want everybody to pay attention to. If you can laugh at yourself for the stupid shit that you allowed anger to do, when you can laugh at that, you're on the right track. Because if it gets you angry again, if it reinitiates it, if it re-sparks it, you're not doing the work. Now, let me give you the quick 4 stages before you think about these moments. It starts
Okay.
with the buildup, dun, 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 and then it goes into the spark. And after the spark comes the explosion. And after the explosion comes the aftermath, ladies and gentlemen. Now you have to pick up the pieces of your destruction. Now you have to try to make sense of everything you said, everything you threw, everything you broke, everything you kicked, everything that happens as a result. And when you look at why you got angry in the first place, that's the worst part. When you realize how petty, and how many different ways you could have went about that, that's the real pain right there.
Earl, go ahead and take the floor, brother. I know you had your hand up.
Oh, good morning.
Good
Um,
morning.
Anger management, and one thing you just said, King, that resonated. Having that gift to um, not display anger, even when you think it's appropriate. In that sense, having that the discernment to deny that, right? Here's in my opinion. Here's the flip side to that. Might even be a little toxic though, right? Anger is a form of validation to the other person, right?
Okay.
Deny them that, right? Have you ever, women, I'm not picking on y'all, but have you ever argued with a woman or had a disagreement with a woman, friend, family, spouse, or whatever, right? And they try to push every button. But if you laugh in that sense, when that person is upset with you, it just infuriates them,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Right? Even when we on
Mhm.
these panels, right? You get people that try to trigger you, right? And you don't bite and you laugh, you stay silent, you stay muted, right? It infuriates them, right? That anger management is knowing how to turn it on and turn it off. And I think that comes with some discernment and knowing who you're talking to or interacting with. If you care about that person that's interacting with you, sometimes you have that discernment to turn it off, and you know that you can just stay quiet, mute up through it, and let it rock, right? But then that takes a lot of energy. I'm not going to sit here and talk like, hey, you got to become this Dalai Lama of mental stability to be able to do this, and this is a superpower, etc. Bro, it drains you, right?
Oh,
Because
it
you
does.
still know that that person means you ill will. You still know that that person may be wrong, but you controlling the energy and you're not validating them. You're not you're mm, you're not gonna give it to them.
No,
But at the
say it.
end,
Say the
but
quiet
look,
part out loud.
but at the end of the but
No, don't do
it,
that.
it
Don't do
still
that.
drains you. Oh,
Say the
okay,
quiet part out
I'm
loud.
getting it still drains you, right? But then once part of that anger management is knowing when to remove yourself from the equation, drop off the panel, mute up, walk out the room, get some space, leave that relationship, love that person with a long handle spoon, move differently. You feel me? And then here's some of the scare tactics. That other person that calls you to go in your bag and scoop out your anger stick, right? They're gonna say you abandoned me. They're gonna say you didn't care for me. They didn't, you know what? Because that's a form of manipulation. They know if they can get you in your angry space, they can manipulate you, right? Because you know what, as beings, we don't use our best discernment when we're mad, right? We wind up, like Brother Omega said, we wind up hurting them. Then we wind up having to go back, and even when we do, it's still our responsibility to go back and pick up those
So comment.
pieces, right? But that's a way that people can force
Stephanie.
you to pour into them, because if they can get you angry and you destroy them with your anger, now, because they know the type of person you are, you're forced to pour into them because now you have to clean that up.
That's wild.
But I'm gonna land there.
Oh,
That is wild.
anger management. DJ, that's the topic. Manifest. I'm gonna let you go, and then I'll jump in and say what I was gonna say. Go ahead, Manifest.
All right, so I'm about to be vulnerable and honest with y'all about a story. Very transparent about something that happened in my life and I'm not proud of. All right, so I was married. I was married to a wife with a ready-made family, 2 little girls. One at the time was 2 and the other was 12. I love those girls like they were my own. I love my wife at the time in my brokenness with the best love I can give at the time at my broken mindset. So I thought that being married, all you had to do was be faithful, come home, and work. You know what I mean? Just be faithful, take care of your children, take care of your wife, and come home. In the marriage, I found out she wasn't in love with me. So I stayed because I was told, love your wife as Christ loved the church. Okay, continue. So later on in the marriage, certain situations will happen. And not proud of this. The first time I asked about a situation, she threw her cell phone at my head. Luckily I went to the left. She missed, but I let it go. Because think about it. Growing up in a home where that's kind of normal, I said, no, that's all right. I'm going to let it go. Situation happened in which I asked her another question. She got up from the table one day with enraged and smashed a glass on my face in which I had braces. Now, her parents came to the house because they stayed around the corner from us. They ended up taking her and the kids and leaving. I asked the bishop, who was my father-in-law, why are y'all leaving when she smashed the glass on my face? Well, we want to do this for the kids' safety and she needs some time. Like, what? So as we continue along the marriage, we in counseling and we're talking about all this and we find and do counseling that she's willing and ready to leave me for a man that wants her but don't want the kids. But I'm heavily involved into the children's lives in which the 2-year-old, now is 3, calls me daddy. So at that moment, the counselor who was the pastor asked me, Joseph, how do you feel? I said, I don't know how to feel. I'm involved in these children's life. I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm working overtime. I barely take care of myself. I'm in this marriage, but I always feel like I've been in it by myself. So fast forward. A week later, we get into an argument after church, in which that I think it was a Saturday. I end up being petty. I end up removing the money out of the account because she didn't come home that night. I say, well, if you're not gonna come home that night, then I'm gonna be petty. I'm gonna move all the money because that's what you in this marriage for anyway, for me to take care of you. You're not really in it. We get out of church that Sunday. We on our way to Walmart to get dinner, and I tell her, I was like, babe, I was being petty last night. I took the money. Here it is. We can put it back in the account. And at that moment, she snaps. When she snaps, and all I can hear in my head is blah, 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 blah. We pull up into a Farm Fresh parking lot. She says that you was ready to leave me and my girls out in the cold and take everything from us. What type of man are you? And I was like, and I went in on her. When she got out of the car and she comes to my face, this is what I'm not proud of. I stopped seeing her. All I saw was the distorted image in my mind, and I went to war with her. And I put my hands physically on her that day. In which that was the day that destroyed the marriage. That was the day that I was an abuser. That was the day that it didn't matter what she did, it's matter what you responded. And I went to anger management and everything, and I lost all type of connections and interactions with my stepkids at the time. And that's where my life ended up starting to actually really happen for me right after that moment. Because I was enraged at that moment. I acted in a moment of rage. I lost everything, but I was on my way to losing everything anyway, later on, So, yes, acting in a moment of rage when you push to a place can come out in a way, in ways that you would never imagine. Never imagine. Now, get this. throughout the whole marriage, I never put my hands on her. I never touched her. But and I allowed her to act any way she wanted to act or put her hands physically on me or whatever. But that moment for a long time transpired within me because I reacted. I was wrong. I went to anger management trying to figure out what that was. Why did that happen? That shouldn't have happened. I went to 2 anger management classes because the first one wasn't just enough. Then after that one, went to a Catholic one. Then after that, I had to go to a court-appointed one. Then from there, I just learned, that's when technically I would say my life changed and my journey started from that moment.
So
Can I get
before,
can I get a quick question in for him?
Yeah,
Just
go ahead.
just for clarity. Have before that moment,
yo,
Mm-hmm.
manifest, are you connected to a speaker?
Huh?
Are you
just
connected
get
to a speaker?
I was connected to my charger. How about
no,
now?
just mute for 1 second.
You for 1 second.
Yeah, there
Thank
you
you.
go. What it is getting
Okay, there's an
feedback.
echo.
Manifest. My question to you is this: before that moment that you snapped
Manifest.
and you used your hands, did you ever envision doing that before? Have you ever had a thought about strangling? Have you ever had a thought about hugging hard?
I wonder if he's connected to something. He might be
It's
connected to like a
asking.
Bluetooth.
Pull your
It's
settings
just
screen
it's
down
just
for your
what
phone.
yeah.
Pull the
Yeah,
setting
swipe your
down
screen
from
down
all.
from to your notifications and swipe it back up to see if
You just
that removes the
swipe up,
feedback.
swipe down. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's the question that I have for you, sir, is have you ever in your mind dreamt about, sat down to think about that you were going to do this, or that you wanted to do this, or you envisioned it?
At
Hey,
that,
hey,
no.
Manifest King, I'm gonna drop you and bring you right back up. Hopefully that takes away the echo because you pulled the screen down, but
Yeah, because there's an echo.
it's still giving feedback.
He might be connected to a Bluetooth or something.
Right.
Maybe,
So
and he don't realize it.
that question is not just for him.
I got you. I'll drop him. I'm gonna drop you and bring you back up, manifest.
Yeah, that
I got
question was not just for him, but I wanted him to answer it because it's very important if you can recognize if you already had that thought in your head, like, man, you do that again, I'm gonna do
That's a
this.
word.
Or if you ever had a premonition, to do that before it happens. So that's my question. Yeah, it's still happening.
Yeah. You might be connected to a Bluetooth or something, manifest. So make sure you're not connected to anything. But before you answer manifest, just let Harmika get it out so that way it doesn't echo.
Right. So it's just a very simple thing. Before you got to the violent part, right? Did you ever think that you was capable of doing this? Did you have a passing thought of
What's
doing
up,
this?
Riz?
Did you dream about this? Did it ever come to you, or was it something that just happened right there and then?
Yeah, manifest.
Okay, how about now?
A little bit
Okay.
better.
Whew. All right. No. The only moment I can remember is I remember a moment in my mind almost slipping away one night. I was scared because that almost saw that really happen, but I never envisioned that. I love that woman so much. I never envisioned that. I never knew I would do that to her. The way no.
For the tiny Damien.
So
I look
what it
like
is that you're gonna get an echo when one of us talk and you don't mute. We can hear you if we don't talk, but when we talk, there'll be an echo. So we kind of manage it.
Uh, I think Earl had his hand up, but before Earl goes, because I think Earl had a question for manifest. We need everybody to tap the three for 30 seconds, please. We got 37 people in here. Let's tap the three for 30 seconds. If we can get some more shares out, we got 37 people in here, so 15 people per share. That bring some people in here, get some knowledge in here, because we still haven't hit the educational part of this yet. So, but I mean, this is going to be a couple of weeks of series of this conversation of this topic. It's going to be a couple of weeks because there's a lot to tackle. There's a lot to really dive into. Moving forward with this year, I'm gonna try to do at least 4 lives per topic, so that way we can get the full scope of the topic. You know what I'm saying? So if we're talking about anger management, we're gonna do a couple of lives I'll probably like cover the month for that topic itself. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just doing it in spurts. So that's what we're gonna do moving forward. The anger management is just the first one. So yeah, so we can tap the screen for 30 seconds and let's get some more people in here and get the conversation going. Earl, go ahead and take the floor, my brother. Then I want to hear from Ms. Ducky because Ms. Ducky's been real quiet. Please elaborate on the 3 types of anger: passive, aggressive, assertive. Which one do you fall under? Okay. We'll talk about that in just a moment. I got you. And I want to appreciate Manifest for definitely sharing and opening up in regards to that. I know that wasn't easy to do. So I appreciate you coming up and sharing that story because I know it could shed a negative light on you, but I've seen your videos. I could see that you're doing the work. Like I spoke to you on your live, I could see that you're doing the work and you're really putting your best foot forward to be the better version of yourself. So I appreciate that. Earl, my brother, go ahead and take the floor, man.
Quick, with brother manifests his story, and even where I relate to where that brother had his moment of weakness right there. We can be angry with something, right? But then we don't get over it, but we move past it, right? And then something else happens, right? We table that, we get angry about it, we process it, we move over it. All of this time, you're slowly being depleted. You're slowly getting depleted, but not as a whole, not as a person, just with that subject or that person, right? But the whole time you're loving them, right? And that's what this is where the danger comes in, right? Because even when you're angry and you're communicating with that person, you're still loving them. And sometimes even with love, you're shielding them from the truth, or either you're shielding them from what's really ailing you about either if you were wrong, brother, or we were wrong, or they were wrong, right? Because we didn't get time to process that, right? And even if it ain't arguing and yelling, it can be love making or whatever over dinner, but we didn't get to process that, right? So what happens is that one last thing happens. That what's the saying? How's the saying go? That last straw that broke the camel's back, right?
Right.
So in that moment, brother, when you said you was no longer able to see her as that person that she is, or for the rest of us, that we're no longer to see that person as our significant other or our family member or our friend, it is so dangerous at that point. One of my weakest points have been, dude, if I have been, because I love you, because I care for you, I've shielded you from some of the truth, right? But once I no longer have the energy to hold up that dam and hold all those truths back, and I break, well, in some people's situations, they get physical, right? In my situation, the truth flows. And then
Right.
this is where, like we spoke about before, weaponizing the truth, right? You so angry in that moment that every truth that you shielded that person from all flows at the same time. And so now this is an unproportioned response. That person did that to you to make you angry, but we as people, as men, as women, we have all this other pent
Yeah.
up aggression that happened from the past that it all flows at the same
Okay,
time.
I got you. I got
Right,
you.
it all flows. So I'll land with this. Process it, even after y'all done talking about it or whatever. Find a happy time to process that. Right, either agree to disagree or let it go. You feel me? Like you got to verbally get verbal confirmation from the other person. Is this where we at with this? Right? Can we move past it? Because if you can't get verbal confirmation, right? We're not mind readers. We're not, psychics and crap like that. But then once something else happens, it's all gonna come out all at the same time.
Right. Sheesh. We're saying the quiet part out loud, aren't we?
That's when you say it's a term that people say it's on site.
Right. Right.
The moment that we cross paths, the first sign of anything, and it doesn't even have to be something intentional. The first thing that they say, the letter, the word, the tone, the
Someone.
volume, anything goes left, bang.
Right. So I want to hear from Ms. Ducky. I want to hit then triple it, then DJ, then I'll give it to official Mama G. And we got one in the queue, so I am gonna need to rotate somebody out in a short time. So
I can drop.
Go ahead, Mr. Ducky.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Ms. Ducky, go for it.
yeah, I've been listening, and doing a bit of reflecting. I know that for me, whenever I get angry, the very first thing that I do is I react, which is not necessarily the appropriate response, because whenever I react, I react out of anger, or I get completely silent. And if I've gotten completely silent in anger, uh, that's when for me I know I'm in I'm in my danger zone. Um, I I've gotten better with not attacking a person. Um, I used to go for core values whenever I would fight someone. And when I say fight someone, I mean verbally. I'm I don't know that I've never hit anybody. Um, but I have exploded in like physical anger. I just haven't taken it out on somebody else. I take it out on inanimate objects. But
Thank you for the follow, Levi.
it's still that explosion is what I need to learn how to control, and that's why I'm here. That's why I'm listening.
Well, welcome. I'm glad that you're here. So before I let Triplet go, right? Unnoticeable wrote something in the chat that I think is pretty interesting. He said, I don't know if it's he, if, I can't tell if it's a he or she, but Unnoticeable wrote something. Elaborate, please, on the three types of anger: passive, aggressive, assertive. Was it passive, aggressive, or assertive? Which one do you fall under? So while everybody is kind of explaining what they're hearing so far, please elaborate which category you fall under. Mine's is very passive aggressive. I'm a passive aggressive individual. So just to answer that question.
Okay, let them know.
But
Give them a little bit of what that looks like, about how the passive is the most common.
so I, I can't stand you. So from shit. Are we
Hey,
doing it?
yeah,
Okay.
we got to do this, because if we don't do it,
Captain,
then
brother.
they won't feel it where we're coming from.
Come on, Teddy.
Okay.
Don't do it like that. Now, come on with it.
I'm trying to see if I have an example
Don't place your
of,
words, man. Just let it out.
about what passive aggressive looks like in the aspects of me.
Yes, you.
Um, okay. You know what? I'll sum it in 2 words. With the nickname that everybody gave me, King Petty. I'm very fucking petty when I'm passive aggressive. I'm
I,
petty
wa-
as shit.
I was hoping you said that.
I am the most pettiest fucking person you'll ever meet in your life. When it comes to that point. That's it. I'm petty as fuck. 100%. I can't even act like I'm not, because I am. I wear this hat. We're here, right? I wear this hat, and I wear this hat very well. You know what I'm saying? I'm very educated. I'm very informative. I'm very intellectual, but I'm petty as fuck. By far. 100%. So, Triple Eight, I'm gonna let you Triple Eight, I'm gonna let you go. But while you're giving us your tidbit, and how you know the things in regards to anger management and your anger, kind of answer that. Which category you fall under?
I mean, I honestly don't know. I've always just been an aggressive person, like since I was little. I mean, like little, like since I could talk, I was just an aggressive little thing, and I grew up aggressive. Um, I think I just
Thank you, Melinda.
realized recently, since I just started this healing process, that a lot of it has to do with the way that I was raised and how my dad was. Like he raised us where his love was anger, and so now my love is anger. And I didn't realize that till, like I said, I started doing this healing journey. And I realized even just like a few times with my fiance, I'd be like, I'm doing it because I love you. Like, what do you don't understand? I'm doing it because I love you. Like my anger is fueled more when I really care about people. So I think like I don't know how to like describe it. Like I'm just aggressive, but it doesn't come from like a bad place. Like my anger and my aggression isn't just random. Like it comes because either I'm trying to protect somebody or because I love you. And it's like if I'm not angry, then it's just like I don't love you or I don't care about you. Like if I'm not spewing a little bit of aggressive anger, because I don't care about you. And I mean, like, I guess it just stems from, just like I said, the way I was raised with my father is he's doing it because he loves me. So, I mean, it just kind of bled into me, I guess. I don't know. I'm aggressive. I don't know how to explain. I'm just a very loving, aggressive person.
That's your truth.
Well, hold on. Before we go any further, I also want people to be mindful of when you say passive, it's avoiding their feelings. Aggressive is behaving in a negative fashion because of your feelings, right? And then we're gonna go to the assertive.
That's why I said I was petty.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
that
Then we're gonna go
was
to
the
the
way we have
assertive.
to sum it up.
It's very
That's the way we
important.
have to
It's
sum it
very
up.
important to know the last part. The assertive part is the person who attempts to solve the problem and find the solution.
Are you coming up, Mama G?
Here's my question before you answer. I'm gonna add a little tidbit to it.
Latina,
When
welcome
you
in.
when you say petty, and are we talking about tick for tack? Are we talking about hitting below the belt? Are we talking about you made me feel a certain way, so I think I have the right now to do this to you?
Yeah, it's a little. I guess I'm a mixture of all three.
Ouch.
Absence of empathy.
Yeah, it can get there. But it takes a lot for me to get there. It takes a lot for me to get. Anybody that knows me outside of the app knows that it takes a lot. It takes a lot for me to get there. You get what I'm
Before
saying?
anybody else says their story, I want you to see what Miss Ducky did. I want you to see what he did. They both laughed and chuckled a little bit. They chuckled and laughed a little bit. That's what I want Manifest to see. That's what I want Mama G to see. That's what I want everybody to see. That little chuckle, that little laugh, that little shift, that little shimmy, it makes a big difference.
I'm just saying. Because I'm petty as shit. Okay, like, and it's not to say that I'm not a good person. Let's not say that I'm a bad person. You know what I'm saying? It just takes a lot. When I get there, I get there. You get what I'm saying? And it takes a lot for me to come back from that. But it also takes a lot for me to get there. You get what I'm saying? And anybody that knows me outside of the app, you know what I'm saying, it's is knows that my level of patience, just like Venus said, is supernatural. Cause there's some people that will snap in an instant. Me, I sit there and I observe and I pay attention and I move in silence and I let things kind of fall into the sword or them fall into their sword. And once they fall into their sword and the wound is open, that's when I start digging. And I start digging and digging and digging until the sword is in the stone and you can't pull it out and you need King Arthur to pull that shit out. You get what
Man.
I'm saying? So that's
Pink
why I say
hug right now.
it takes a lot of
Mm-mm.
discipline. It takes a lot of discipline, right? And this is why I kept on. That's why I said it takes a lot of work to get to that point. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're moving in your silence and you're very quiet and you're observant and you're just like kind of just letting people fall on their sword, eventually you're gonna explode. Like, you know what I'm saying? But if you're working it in moderations, like I said, and kind of just finding ways to kind of suppress the anger in regards to just, you know what I'm saying, what's going on, suppress it a little bit, find something to focus on so that way you're not really pushing towards the anger. Go to the gym, work out, go for a walk, hit a boxing, hit a fucking heavyweight, some, a heavy bag, something that's gonna let you release that anger in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Anything that can help you release that anger, do it. You get what I'm saying? And it's one of those things that, like Amika said, you can't have it festering too long because you will explode. And I've seen people explode on the wrong individuals before.
They take it out on the wrong people, even themselves.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot that goes into it. I hope everybody's really hearing my words when I'm saying this, because I'm not saying this for my benefit. I'm saying it for y'all. Okay? Cause even with the person that's done the work, I still gotta be able to, you know, show that to the people that I'm trying to teach.
Really
I got
quickly, you said the Hulk. You said the Hulk a long time ago, right? So
I did.
what did David Banner or Bruce Banner say before shit hit the fan? He would look at someone and say, "You wouldn't like me when I'm angry."
Exactly. Exactly. You know what I'm
You
saying?
think about
So
those words. You would not like me if I'm angry. So please cut it out.
just I just want everybody to take that in. Like, take that in. Like, you know what I'm saying? We got a lot to tackle. We got a lot to tackle, but we really got to take that in. So I'm gonna let
Can I?
DJ go real quick, Miss Ducky, because DJ hasn't gone. I'm gonna let DJ go official, and then I will spin the black on you, and then I'll let Boss Lady go after. I got you. So go ahead, DJ.
What up, everybody? I'm
There you
petty as
go. He
shit.
started with the laugh. You see what
There's
I'm
that
Hey,
saying? He
hey,
laugh.
started with the
hey,
laugh.
hey! I had to realize that, and I'm the type of petty. I'm gonna pull a 50 Cent move on you. I'm gonna demean your intelligence to a degree where you just feel like I ain't worth 2 cents. But that's only if you get on my bad side. It take a lot to get there. If you get on my bad side, ain't no coming back. I don't believe in redemption a lot of the time. Um, and lately it's kind of been hard because the people that's getting on my bad side are very immediate family, and yeah, it's gonna be a lot of cutting off. But in my anger growth though, somewhat in the degree of what manifest was, I had kids at a young age. My first child, I was 19, right? Me and my baby mama moved in together, and she has a Chihuahua's temperature. I
Not
can't,
a
I
Chihuahua's
can't, huh?
not a Chihuahua's temperature.
Yeah, man, y'all know how the Chihuahuas always bite at your ankles and can't fight and always run. She always did stuff like that, and it got to a boiling
Hey,
point
hey,
a few.
Leave Mama G alone, man. Don't talk about Chihuahuas, all right?
I'm not trying to take no personal shots. I'm just trying to get y'all the picture. I'm a big fella. I'm 6'3", and I was like 200 then. She's more like 5'3", 120. Right? So y'all get the difference in that. Like, so that's a major issue in itself when somebody's taunting you. And like Manifest was saying, like in his story, I heard him suppressing himself a lot, and that volcano finally erupted. And that's
Yep.
one of the things that I used to do back in the day because I was always trying to protect other people while hurting myself, and that backfired so fucking bad. But um the more I came into myself of learning who I am, what I am, and how things like really trigger me, I just became the petty guy. I became truly petty. It'll be a slight comment, it'll be something. I'm gonna tell y'all a petty trait, and I'm gonna let y'all go with it. When I broke up with my last girlfriend, I made a playlist of breakup songs that I always do, and I played that shit every day. I sung it in the shower every day. And she used to stand at the shower and listen to me sing it every day. That's my petty shit, man. Hey, listen. Once you get me to that level, it's better for me to be petty than to lash out. Because the last time I got angry, I blacked out a couple times, and I don't like that shit. It's like I black out and I wake up somewhere else. I don't like that. So I just try to find a pressure release valve, like a like not like a crock pot, like a pressure cooker. Once that pressure gets to a certain point, I find a way to let it off without being, yeah. I'll go shoot, like you said, I'll go shoot ball, I'll just go walk. One of my favorite things to do, I go ride in the neighborhoods I want to live in. I go look at the houses that I dream about, that I have on my wall. So those are my
Listen,
that's my
I'm
petty
trying to
traits.
tell you that
And
pressure
I'm
when that
always
pressure
hey,
releases.
Hey, I'ma always laugh. I'ma always laugh or just drop my head before it really like gets to that tipping point. But every time I know that I've got angry enough to do something, I've always laughed, and I don't know why. It's involuntary as shit, but I'm gonna laugh and I'm gonna just say, "Stop playing," or "Just leave me alone," and then it go from there.
Listen,
I'm not gonna lie, that last part is the part that got me one time, almost a DV case. One thing, if I'm very serious with you and I'm angry and I'm crying and you laugh in my face, when I tell you my body has these reactions that I cannot control, I literally bop somebody in the face. Like instantaneously because they laughed. So we're serious here. What the hell is a joke? Am I the joke? And yeah, I need to, yo, bro, when you said that, like it triggered me a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, oh, I want to punch him through the phone.
That's not a joke. Many times that I've been serious with people and they start laughing or smiling at you and you go, "You really think this is funny?" Because I don't see any funniness in this whatsoever. As a matter of fact,
I think it's a good note though that people that do that, especially me, it's a way of me decompressing. It's not to diminish the event or what's going on, but it's a way for me to decompress because I'm a quiet person. So if you
I
get
got
around me,
you.
I'm just gonna watch what you do. And in the moment of an argument, all that shit come flooding back to my mind like rapidly. And I can be super petty and just drag you down, you know what I'm saying, with events or words or things. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
That's
me
usually a
laughing is
coping
kind of,
mechanism for people when they laugh in uncomfortable situations because they're uncomfortable.
Yeah,
yeah,
that
so
too. That
I
definitely
just
that.
laugh and back off.
Definitely that. Go ahead, Earl. I'll let you go and then I'll let Mama G go. Official
Real
Mama G.
real quick, the art of petty, is so dangerous. I mean, it's effective, but it's so dangerous. You play with somebody's head, it's equivalent to throwing rocks and hiding your hand. It's so
It is.
dangerous. You feel me? I was that cat. I'm petty too. You know, I choose not to be that petty in my relationship as I am on the panels. But that right there, bro, like Mama G just said, will make that other person snap. Snap, bro. It's almost easier just to be physical with them rather than play with they mental, bro. I'm tough. Hey, and bro, I was that dude, bro. That song list in the car on the way to church, bro. On the way to on the way to going where you ever. But me, it was Eminem that his songs about his baby. I would play them. I was that petty, bro, for real. And I cannot blame that woman for wanting to knock my block off when we got to where we was going, because I knew what I
Hey,
was doing. But I can always
see,
deny my actions by saying, no, I was just listening to music. What are you talking about? Now that other
hey,
person sitting there like, so now you think I'm dumb. You
I
feel me?
got listen, hold
my
on. You
favorite
know what?
song.
I'm gonna do something real quick before you even go there. I'm gonna fuck y'all head up real quick. Y'all ever seen Denial by Anger?
Uh-uh.
You know what I'm talking. You hear what I'm talking about? Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a great fucking story, and this really fucking happened. Okay, this is somebody I used to be real cool that did this. Right? She got into an argument with the father of her kids in the car. Right? They were arguing about buying their son sneakers, and this is not a fake story. This really fucking happened. They got into an argument so bad that she decided that she was gonna swing on him. So she swung on him, and then he swung back. He got arrested. And then when we asked her what happened, she said that he hit me first. Anger by denial.
can I touch that just a little bit? Listen, for all you petty masters, right? For all you petty people that pride yourself on being petty, did you know that being petty is a form of gaslighting?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Ouch.
It is. I mean, I knew that. I knew that.
A lot of
But
people don't know that
I
being
knew that.
petty is a form of gaslighting. Think about what I'm saying. Yes, being petty can be better at certain cases than being physical and becoming violent, but being petty can raise the level of violence faster than anything else if
I
the
tell
other
people
person is paying attention.
this is why I say if you are gonna be petty, make sure you know how to make sure you know that you can fight for real. Like if you don't I'm all right, listen, hold on, tell me.
That's what. Hey, I'm petty because I know I'm willing to go the extra mile to get my point across.
I'm just I took my
King, for
glasses
those
off for a reason,
in the
okay?
back who be trying to act petty, repeat that again, please.
Hear me when I say this, right? If you are going to be petty for any reason whatsoever, make sure you know how to fight, okay? Because there is no chance in hell that you think you're about to be petty to somebody that has exploding anger issues and they lash out at you and you think that they're not gonna put their hands on you. Okay? Make sure make sure you know how to fight if you're gonna if you're gonna be petty, okay? If your level of pettiness is at an all-time high like mine is, make sure you got some hands because depending on who you do it for with, they might want to fight you for real. And listen, I'm just saying. Just be mindful of that. Glasses back on. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just thought I just put that out there. What's up, Miss Harris? Welcome in, sis. I just wanted to put that out there real quick.
So if you're gonna be petty, do it in a responsible way.
You didn't do it right. That's not how you address Miss Harris. You said, "Good morning, gorgeous."
Morning.
You know, just like Miss Harris, you know, I just thought I'd put that out there a little bit because
That's a whole different subject about how to be petty. Because we could all be petty in a sarcastic way. We could be in an antagonizing way. We could be like what the gentleman before said, that when you angry, all of it comes out. And guess what? I've been dying to tell you this. I've been dying to say this, and you are this, and you that, and you this. That's not petty. That is lashing out.
In the queue. I got y'all. We got 2 people in the queue, so let's rotate some people out.
Petty.
I think Mudfoot had did his first, so I'll let Mud up, and then Miss Ducky, I'm gonna rotate you out. I'll let you say what you had to say first, and then I'm gonna rotate you out, and then I'll bring it to Mama G.
Who's first?
Well, I did have my thing was actually a question.
Oh, go ahead.
I was wondering when you're angry, and I know that, and I've talked with other women about this, we tend to cry when we're angry, and that's not the response that we want to be giving, and it actually gets in the way of communicating anger.
Mm-hmm.
How do you more effectively communicate in that type of situation?
What's your anger? How to communicate your anger? Is that what you're asking?
How do you communicate your anger whenever the physical response that you have to anger is different than what the actual response is in your brain?
Well, it starts with noticing. It starts with noticing that you're doing that. Yeah, it starts with that. It starts with understanding that sometimes you get to a certain point, you don't know how it's going to come out.
That's weird.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you don't know how you're going to react, especially if it's something new. So you could practice this all you want. The whole part of anger is to reach a point of de-escalation. Notice that the temperature is rising. You feel it. You get goosebumps. You start seeing red. You know that term when they say you start seeing red? When you start seeing colors, it's time to put a pin in it.
We're not even there yet, but we're not even going to take it there yet.
Well, she asked the question, so it's more about de-escalating and noticing it. You notice it, right, and you try to de-escalate it on site.
Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me remove you as a mod, sweetie, and add you back, because if it's giving you that problem, let me fix that. Hold on. Because she says she lost the ability to bring people up.
Right. So Ms. Ducky, it's a lot of practice. That's the bottom line. Is it takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of practice, intentional practice. In other words, you have a goal is to manage something, to cope with something, to recognize something. Right. You have to have a purpose. You have to have intention when you're doing this.
Right. We're not there yet.
Let me say something to respond to that. And when you're in a place of emotion, when you're in a place of anger, you don't necessarily have that mental bandwidth to actually be logical, to actually always be, intentional with that, because the emotion in itself is anger, which is illogical, right? So if we know this, maybe, and I'm just saying what works for me, sometimes you may have to actually separate yourself from the equation until you can actually be a big girl to be able to have that type of conversation. Because I know for myself, I can be all three. I'll start off as passive, the where I have a lack of empathy, because that petty game will be strong, and then it'll be assertive because I'm naturally that. So that'll be something that'll come with ease. But when I'm unheard and
Hey,
unacknowledged,
Earl, I'm gonna rotate
then
you up, bro.
here
Sorry.
comes the aggression. No, it's okay. Then here comes aggression. Here comes where it starts to actually be irrational. But in order for me to actually be heard, in order for me to actually have means of an adult conversation, I have to be able to subtract the emotion of anger, because I know that is a space as to where things can be very illogical. We've seen what people do just in general, women and men, when they're in a space of anger. They see red, they want to hurt whomever. They want to, you don't want to actually respect me, because that's what it actually ends up feeling like. You don't respect me as a person. You're laughing in my face, etc. So you then turn violent. That's the aggression. But in order
Um,
for someone to actually be heard,
okay.
you might have to actually separate yourself before you can actually then give the words and be able to project that effectively.
Okay. Well, I hope Ms. Ducky, I hope you heard that. In regards to what she said, because that was deep, and that was the truth. That was the hard truth. You get what I'm saying? And listen, this is not an easy topic to have, y'all. I know we're making light of it and we're kind of having fun with it, but even us having fun with it, the information is still being given. You get what I'm saying? And just hone into that as well, even though we're having a good time and we're laughing, and you know what I'm saying, in regards to this, because it's needed. We're trying to give a balance, because I know this can get really heavy real quick. So I'm gonna let official Mama G go real quick. Oh, go ahead. You go ahead. Go ahead.
Me?
Who's going?
Who's going?
Oh no, go ahead. You said that you had something to say.
Oh,
Go
me?
ahead.
Who, me?
Hold on.
Elysium.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You all called me. I'm Captain Petty. I'm right here.
She came in with the bell.
You all asked for the Empress of Pettiness. I have entered the building, and I just wanted to let you all know that you all are doing quite well with harnessing your inner pettiness. And I'm going to drop on that note. I pulled out the special bowl. Okay, only pettiness gets this bowl.
I was about to put on my altar boy suit.
So after that special message,
I love that.
um can I'm gonna just go ahead and say my little 2 cents, and then I'm gonna move around and get out your way, because I know that there's deep discussion actually being had. So as of what I was actually saying in the comments, so I know
Love you too. Love you too.
manifest, aka Joe. Hey Joe, how you doing, beloved?
Hey, what's up? I'm doing good. How you doing, Key?
Good. So first of all, I'm glad that he's actually in this space amongst both men and women to actually get a sense of direction as it relates to his mental health and well-being, because I know of the marriage and the toxic situation that he was actually in, dealing with that marriage. And I felt like it was something that, it was kind of it was bleak on both sides.
Boss lady, welcome in.
Hey.
I was talking. There's just another boss
Oh,
lady in
there's
the chat. My bad.
another. There's another. Well, hey, boss lady. Hey, sugar. um, but no, with that situation, I felt like, and this is, well, first, before I actually even go into it, Joe, do you mind if I kind of divulge?
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Kyla. Hey, Kyla, welcome in.
Um, I feel like both of them had the ideal of what they thought the marriage was supposed to be. I don't know the wife personally, but I know Joe to be able to say that having a marriage was something super important to him. But at the same time, it's like, I know it's a conditioning that, we see ourselves in a relationship, and the end game is marriage. But you also have to then respect and understand and appreciate the person that you're in a marriage with. You being in a marriage doesn't actually mean that it has to come at the cost of you being demeaned and disrespected and being in an abusive situation in the name of marriage. You know what I mean? And that was something that he was accepting at a point,
Right.
for the sake of, I want to be married. And it would hurt to actually kind of see that, because it's like, I understood my friend. I understood that, so far as his goals and what he wanted, but at the same time, it was just like, it shouldn't be
Oh,
this.
Joe, real quick.
Yo, mute for a
Appreciate it.
second. It shouldn't necessarily be this that you're going through just to actually have that. Have
Right.
someone that genuinely loves you. Have a teammate. Have someone that you can rely on when the chips are down. Have someone that, can love you holistically, mentally, spiritually, all of the things. You know, if they can't actually encumbrance that holistically, then there's no point of you two actually even being together. And it was sad that he was willing to accept certain things just at the cost of, but this is my wife. But
Right.
I'm glad that, he's taken the steps. I'm glad that he's, progressively going, and it's going to be a process. But I know that he's doing the work, and I like to see that he's in certain spaces like this to get the tools that he actually needs. So
And that's what we're here
love you,
for.
Joe. And I'm gonna go ahead and get out y'all way.
Love you more. Appreciate that.
Appreciate you, boss. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, boss lady.
These, these
Boss
are
lady.
these are real life. These are real life situations, ladies and gentlemen. Pay attention.
Believe it or not, boss lady is actually one of the elites of the people that followed us from the other page. She was one of the folks that followed
I
us from.
I remember her very very lively, very lively.
Yep.
She's very very soft spoken. I like her tone of voice. Always did.
So I know Official Mama G's been waiting, so I'm gonna let her go. So that way we can do a quick commercial break. So go ahead, Official Mama G.
Actually, it hasn't really been that bad. I'm not sure if you can hear me because I've just been listening while momming and I've been cooking. So, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, great. Oh, hold on real quick. Let me, oh, see, now I'm like,
We got one more box. Who's in the queue? Who's in the queue? Who's in the queue? We got Miss Duckett.
I would like for the Juan to come up too. The Juan, if you're listening, man, tally up, man. I want you up here.
Oh yeah, we gonna bring him up.
all
We're gonna
right.
have to bring him up.
So I had
Go
to
ahead.
get to a place to where I wasn't near my children. And so I know for myself, and my anger is, it has changed over time.
I can be extremely passive, but not to be petty, but just so that to fix it. I can be extremely passive. Like if you say something, and you can always tell when somebody's intentionally doing something to anger you, when somebody's intentionally withholding care from you, when somebody's intentionally minimizing you, like when you're sitting here telling somebody like, certain words, and you can tell that their words are meant to harm you. I can be extremely passive. But I remember it. I can be extremely passive, but then I become assertive. And the reason I become assertive is because in previous relationships, mostly with my ex-husband, I was never able to have a voice to speak. So I'll be like, listen, you're doing, and first I ask a question. You're saying this, I'm taking it like this, so it means this. And I do this so that I can have understanding because English is my second language. It is what it is. Like sometimes I don't get words. And they'll be like no or yes or whatever. But then I become assertive by saying even more by saying, you know what, you're pissing me off because of this. I need a minute. And then I withdraw. And if I'm not given the opportunity to withdraw, then I become aggressive. Then I will explode. Then I'll be like, listen here, hijo de tu pinche puto madre. And then a whole nother level of me comes out because it just is what it is. I'll be very honest, but I technically I'm usually passive and assertive to the point to where I want to be in control of my emotions and I want to have the right understanding before I blow up. But I have my peak, and when I peak, my aggression comes out and I don't give two shits anymore if I hurt your feelings. And I know you probably shouldn't be like that, but like that just it is what it is. And I'll say whatever I have to say to get you to shut up. And then if I get to the point where I gotta knock you out, I'm only 4'10", so it's not very hard to hit at the waist. Just saying. Anyways, that's probably not like the best, healthiest way, but that's just the way that I cope. But I tend to be very, very passive. I want to be passive. I'm just like, listen, I don't want people to hold shit over me, so I don't hold shit over people. And I be extremely passive. And I'll let you get away with things. And I'll watch you. I'll let you get away with it and I'll watch you, but then I also watch how you treat me in other spaces. And then I'll watch how you treat me around other people. And then I'll start making an understanding. And then it gets to a point I'll be like, hey, you know what? You said this and this and this to this and this and this. And then I'm just done. And then I walk away.
Yeah. Yeah, that power, that power.
Time out. Time out. Time out.
Earl, that ain't cool.
Time out. So we just not gonna
Listen,
speed past
Hey,
that. We're not. We're
oh,
there's gonna be
we,
Chihuahua
we are
jokes.
we are not gonna
listen.
speed past
I,
that.
I'm not, listen, I'm the short person that will stand on a chair to look you in your eye. I'll stand on a table. I don't give a shit. I'm 4'10".
No, no, no,
If
no,
we
no, no,
could be
no, no,
having
no,
an
no, no,
argument
no,
and I'll
no,
go get a
no, no.
stool
That's
just to
not
look
what we're
at you.
talking about.
That's not it, man.
That's not what we're talking about.
Oh, my bad.
Did you just call yourself a subliminal nut puncher?
That's
Like
irrelevant.
That's where
That
I'm
is
at.
irrelevant. That is
No,
irrelevant. I'm
no,
just
it's
that is
saying.
not.
not
No,
irrelevant,
it's
man. What do
not.
you
It is.
mean?
Listen, if you bring out my aggression, that's your issue, okay? But why would you tempt somebody so little? Why would you do that? Why would you get her to a point to where she's gonna
Now,
explode
now,
on you?
now, y'all understand my story. I told y'all it's
I,
always a
I,
short
I,
one.
I saw that swinging for the fences. I saw that. You know what? You know what's funny? You know what I'm hearing from everybody? It, what I'm hearing is how easy it is to give the next person power.
Mm,
Ooh,
We
can I
give
speak to
people
that?
too much power over us when we lose our sense of emotional intelligence. I'm going to share something that people are not going to agree with, but I'm not caring right now. We all have emotional intelligence and we all have anger. We have both. Different
Absolutely.
levels of it. Some of it is absent, some of it only comes out during certain situations, some of it has to be triggered, but we all have it. Here's the thing, that we have to learn how much we have and we don't have of it. We have to learn what level we're in. You know, when I tell people that you have to meet them where they're at,
Yeah.
I can be petty too. You want to play this
Hey, how you
game?
doing?
But my sarcasm goes down the road of eloquence and it goes down the road of intelligence. So when I'm being petty, I'm being a different type of petty. I'm going to say something that I know you don't understand to show you how ignorant you really are.
I like that. I gotta use that
Me.
more often.
That's me all fucking day.
So
I
I'm
could
gonna let Mud.
imagine DJ doing that too. That's funny.
I'm gonna let Mudfoot go, then Lauren, and then I want Coach to chime in. So go ahead, Mud.
Well, hello everybody.
Come in, my brother.
I don't know too much about being petty, to be honest with you. Um, I'm more of a, if everybody knows me here, you could talk about me and I take the Drake approach. Diss me, you'll never hear a reply from it. Y'all hear me say that a lot if you know me.
Right.
The thing is, how my anger works. First of all, when I was growing up, I was ullied. You know, I ain't gonna say the real word for it. I was ullied. So my anger stems from me being younger. And now I'm older and I just don't take shit off nobody. So I have no filter growing up now. I don't take shit off my kids. I don't take shit off of people and coming in my face. I just don't. And whereas though back when I was coming up, it's just harder for me to know who's fucking with me and who's not. If it's a joke or if it's not. You know what I'm saying? And if it gets to that point where as though I can't take it no more, I'm swinging, whether it's verbal, whether it's physical, however you want to look at it. And I've done a lot of work on myself recently within the last year or so. And quite frankly, I'm going to go give the flowers to where they need to go. I'm going to give them to Teddy and I'm going to give them to Mika because they've helped me a lot. But I still got a lot of work to do. And I swear sometimes it's hard. And I'm a grown man and I'm going to tell you, I cry a lot, man. I cry a lot to myself because it's hard, man, because like this anger thing here, and I don't know where I fit it with my temper, because I find myself sometimes sitting there struggling.
What's up, Debo? Good morning.
Things that hit me, and I get quiet, and my wife would be like, "What's wrong?" And I'd be like, "Nothing. I'm good. I'm good." And it start to build, and it start to build, and it start to build, and I equate it to there's a light at the door. You know, like you looking at your door and you see the light coming from around the door. And whereas though it gets so heavy to me, I go to that door and I open it, and I go in that door and I shut it. When I shut that door, oh boy, you don't want me to go. You don't want me to shut that door behind me because I'm gone.
For sure.
I'm gone. That means that temper has consumed me to where as though I'm lit.
The vampire comes out.
Come on with the vampire jokes, bro. No, but for real. And it's like, or I can equate it to it's like building a house. When I done built that house completely, you done fucked up. You done fucked up. I have a bad temper, man, and like I tell people all the time, man. Sometimes I feel like when I'm in a good space, I done unalive that cat, that temper, and I done unalive that cat and buried him in the backyard when I'm in a good spot.
Right.
And we was talking yesterday about your outlets for it. You know what I'm saying? My outlet used to be my DJing.
I appreciate you, honey, dude.
That done fell to the side, and I don't have that no more. Now my outlet is my show on the weekends. You know what I'm saying? I have to have an outlet. And so far as your temper, you have to have an outlet. If you don't have an outlet, you have nowhere to put places, and you have nowhere to fix, man. And like lately, you know, so far as work and everything, family and everything, I've been good. So it's like I'm steadying myself and trying to work with this thing and trying to put this thing to bed so it's not controlling me. I'm controlling it. And I'm not a finished product by anything, man. I'm not a Mozart, man. I need help. And I'm steadily asking for help. And right here, I'm sitting here today and I'm still asking for help. And I'm glad they talking about this because this is something that needs to be addressed. And a lot of people deal with it and they shove it to the side and don't talk about it.
Right.
So that's my piece.
Ooh, my brother, my brother. Listen, there's testimonies in everything that we do, no matter what it is, right? Like it just happens. It's not something that we look for, it's just something that happens. The only way we know if somebody's paying attention is if they come up and tell us that they're paying attention. And they tell us that they're paying attention through their testimony. Need I need to say more in regards to that? So Lauren, it's gonna be Lauren, Lauren, Coach, and then Val. So go ahead, Lauren, take the floor.
And I told myself I was just gonna sit in and listen, but y'all having a good discussion, so I'm like, let me join up in here for the one time. So a lot of and a lot of times, just being around people here in the panel, they honestly say that my voice tone doesn't really change. It's kind of stagnant. And it holds truth because even when I get angry, my voice tone still stays the same because I don't want, unless you really know me, you're not going to know whether I'm angry or not simply because I don't want you to know. I don't know if you can consider this petty, but depending on the reason, I'm a tit for tat person. So, would I be considered petty or just something totally different?
No,
And
tit for tat is definitely petty.
Yeah, that is a different level of petty.
That is
That is what
definitely
I said before. Um, like getting to someone where they're at, matching where they're at. That's the tick for tack. That's the pettiness.
right.
okay. So I will say I do have a bit more on the petty side, but it honestly depends within reason. So if you get on me saying that you don't like it when I do a certain kind of behavior and that I should stop, then of course I'm going to bring up, oh, so it's okay that you do this, but when I'm doing it, it's not okay. I kind of tend to go like that. But also, I have a way of just walking away, but the way that I do it, I can't really tell if it's like a good thing that I'm walking away or if it's bad because a lot of people tend to say, oh, if you're angry, oh, you just walk away from it. But I feel like the way that I do it, it's not in the right response because I'm at that point where it's like, if you're pissing me off, I'm like,
Got you, bro.
okay, I'm going to tell you, I'm walking away. I don't want to listen to you. I don't want to hear you. I don't want to do this. I'm going to be over here. Leave me alone. I'm more of the
Right.
kind of avoidant where you'll know that I'm angry depending on if you really know me or not. But I'm going to tell you that I'm angry. But at the same time, I'm not going to want to listen to anything that you have to say to me. I'm going to be
Thank you
over
for sharing.
here
That's like the story.
because, oh, you can't hear me?
No, I can hear you. I can hear you. I'm talking to the
Oh, my
chat.
bad. My bad. But yeah, I just kind of avoidant and just walk away, just stemming in my anger until I cool down because I know I'm not gonna listen to reason. I'll nod my head and do all of the physical stuff to for you to think that I'm listening, but realistically, I'm not. So I'm not the kind of person that we can immediately talk it out. No, because I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to comprehend anything. I need time by myself, whether it be a couple hours or even a day. Never 2 days, but just a couple of hours to at least one day to calm down. Then I'm like, okay, I'm ready to listen to you, but I can't be that person to talk about it immediately.
Right. Right. See that, and that's a different level of perspective, right? We didn't hear that perspective yet, so I appreciate you coming up and telling us that because that's a different level. That is a whole different level. Because listen, trying to the level of unbotheredness that she's shown within that, I applaud it. I applaud the hell out of it because
That's
that is
diabolical.
listen. Because when that person explodes, move out the way.
They
Move
always say it's always the quiet ones. I haven't exploded yet, but I'm going to tell you I'm angry. Here's my reason. Now please leave me alone. That is all you get from me.
But you always
Her
get
saying that scares me. Her saying that scares me alone. That's villain shit right there.
Because at the same time, I still want to give you basic communication, but I can't communicate in depth right now because I'm stemming. I'm still pissed off. So I'm going to give you how I feel, my reason. Please respect my space. And if you can't even do something as simple as respect my space, then I really don't know what to tell you. I'm still going to go in my space.
I mean, you want to piggyback on that before Coach goes?
I do, because that's called being unfazed. And believe it or not, you become a repellent to this. It repels. And I'm gonna give you a story, and King will vouch for what happened one time that we was on a live, and somebody tried me. Somebody did something to me that's a no-no in every country and every planet. Like, I'm not gonna tell you what it was, but it was something that can make most people extremely uncomfortable. And I didn't even flinch. Not one line in my forehead came up, and I kept it moving. Like, and everybody else was on some ready for it. They were ready for me to react. But the best course of action sometimes is no action, no reaction,
Hey,
because
I wasn't the only one in the panel that was
I
there.
was there, and Hormiga, I gotta give you your flowers, bro. You handled that shit with so much grace.
it's not
So
easy to do. It's not easy to do.
I'm gonna give you guys the story since he don't want to say the quiet part out loud. Um, we were all in the live. We was in my live on the other page. We were just chopping it up. It was just a regular right? It was me, him, Mudfoot. Val was in there moderating, and we were just having a regular conversation, right? And dude came out the random. I don't know where the fuck he came from, but he was like, he wrote in the chat, I dislike white Hispanics. Now the only white Hispanic in the live was Hormiga. So it was clearly a shot at him in the chat. Now, Hormiga looked at it, he looked at me, and then just continued the conversation like nothing happened. Like he didn't just write that in the chat. Now, while Hormiga's calm as shit, I'm fuming at the fucking gates. Like, you know what I'm saying? Ready to go off on this dude, but Hormiga's like real quiet about it, real smooth about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, Homie goes like, I'll be back. He had gotten a phone call. So he dropped down. And the second he dropped down, I went off. Like, I'm talking about I went
But they
off.
wouldn't let me block him though. I was ready. I was ready to
So I
send
went
that
off on
block
him.
straight.
I went off on him and then told him about himself. And then the second I told him about himself, that's when Val blocked him.
So the reason why this story needed to be said and heard is because, again, sometimes the best course of action is no reaction. You have to see people's faces when they're trying to antagonize you and it doesn't work. Have you ever
Yeah,
looked at someone that intentionally,
I got
you
you.
know that they're pushing your
Hey,
buttons,
Lauren, I'm
but
gonna rotate you out, okay? So I can get
but nothing happens? Has anybody ever been in that situation where you've seen that, where how, you know how great it feels to not give them that power? I just talked about it a little while ago with official Mama G. You don't
Mhm,
give people that much power over you.
that part. I like living rent free in people's heads. I enjoy that shit. I
Make you
really
feel
do.
special, don't it? That's that petty shit
I'm
coming out of
trying
you.
to tell you, my brother, that shit makes me feel special. I love living rent free in motherfuckers' heads because I be living my best life.
I've had people admit, friends of mine say, damn, I tried my best to move you and you don't move. This is ridiculous. They had to admit that they were trying it on purpose to
Okay.
test me and I don't move. I
Yeah.
think we got
I'll
Coach
drop you
De
down.
Juan
I'll
coming
drop
up,
you
right?
down. Gotcha.
We got De Juan coming up, right? I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm
Dewan is
excited to
next.
hear him.
Dewan is next. So go ahead, Dewan, take the floor, brother.
Good morning. I appreciate an opportunity to share this space with everybody. Secondly, I appreciate the vulnerability that's being shown up here with everybody, just being hot, right, humble, open, and transparent.
Absolutely.
With that being said, I feel like that a lot of times people have problems with anger because they don't foresee it. It happens like unpredictably, and once that happens, we don't have it takes away the ability to respond intelligently versus just react subconsciously. Now, once that happens, is the way to shift that is to change the position that you're viewing the weapon from. A lot of people view the weapon from behind the trigger, but instead, you should put yourself in front of the barrel. because it's my feelings that's here, right? I'm the person who has the most to lose by this, right? Sometimes it's financial, sometimes it's emotional, sometimes it's respect, sometimes it's love, sometimes it's like whatever. So like you're the person actually in front of the barrel, and you're trying to pull the trigger. But what happens if you pull the trigger if you're standing in front of the barrel? That's suicide, right? So you can say that word. It's not on the bad list,
No, I know you can say it, but that was deep.
but it's real, right?
Yeah.
Because what happens is, like, what tends to happen is people that don't or lack the ability to control their anger, right? They're actually unaliving like the relationship. They're unaliving the situation. They're unaliving their position of winning. And the key to doing that is as you're coping from past battles, as you're dealing with, right? We have to go back and do the healing as we're coping. A lot of
Right.
people take the space and they feel better, but what actually caused this? And once we start to go back and unpack that, we can start to change the position of the weapon and be unfazed, right? Because as much as a weapon is harmful, it's also a powerful deterrent for nonsense. Like I don't have to swing on you to tell you that I'm not to be messed with, right? I don't have to like curse you out to say that I'm not to be messed with, right? Like and eventually, what happens once we switch that position, then that's when we get to a place where we are starting to win every situation.
Listen. God damn it, Dewan. Like,
And boy, drop
Jesus.
some bars then, boy.
Man, listen. You know what?
Say,
All right.
say
All
more.
right.
Say more. He always says, "Say less, say more." He said a lot right there. I needed to hear.
Listen. So, before Val goes, right, I want to give y'all something to think about, right? Pay attention to the way anger feels in your body. This is what I've gathered. The knots in your stomach, clenching your hands or jaws, feeling clammy or flushed. I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know.
King,
I
can I respond real quick? I just thought about something right now. Sorry.
go for it.
Um, to the young lady that was saying, like take my space, right? That's actually healthy. But the way that you present the fact that you need the space is what matters, right? It's the hey, this I feel like this, right? Start with the I statement, so the person like calms down on their defenses. So it's like, hey, I feel upset in this moment, and for that reason, I'm gonna need a business day, or you know what I'm saying? And then if the person is unrespectful of your space, then you could probably go back and source that back to the reason you're upset in the first place. It's inconsideration.
Right.
And now there's a different conversation to have after the emotions and everything have calmed down. But I applaud you for taking the space. But the way that you present the fact that you need the space, that's what matters. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. No need to apologize. We're here to learn, right? So go ahead, Earl, and then I'll let Val go.
Oh, real quick, I'm parked outside of my first appointment for this morning. So I'll be brief, and then I'll drop down to the comments and listen. Last thing I want to add to the conversation, right, with anger as opposed to anger management. Nobody can make you angry. Anger is a choice. Anger is emotion that you chose to have as a response to an outside, you know what I'm saying, energy. You chose to be angry, right? You could have chose any other emotion, but in that time, you chose to be angry. And I do think that it's important that people know, because how often do we hear, well, that person, I did this because that person did that, or that person's in the room, so I can't move this way, I need to move around, or etc. Or if you're upset at the mere presence of somebody else, right? Anger is a choice. You're choosing to be angry in that moment. You can simply move around, give zero fucks, or you can embody that emotion, right? If it's worth it to you to communicate to the other person, right? Once that other person stops being relevant to your existence, right? Is anger still the best response to that? If that person don't pay your bills, that you don't love that person don't affect the way you move, is it still worth you giving them that much energy? So once again, anger is a choice, right? It's a response, but it's a response that you chose to have in that moment. I'm gonna leave you with that.
Y'all just be saying the quiet part out loud, huh? That's crazy. And I appreciate that because that needed to be said, and I know
Hold
that
up,
should.
hold up. That's not gonna. We're not gonna end there. Hold up.
Oh, I wasn't. All right, go ahead.
No, because the whole thing. I understand what Earl is saying, and I'm gonna agree with him to a point. It's almost like ignorance. You are responsible for your own ignorance. When people say that ignorance is bliss, I don't believe in that. I believe that you're responsible for your own ignorance. There has to come a point in time when you start doing the mature things, the research, the work. Here's the problem with what I have with what Earl said. You don't know until you know. You don't know until you know. Until you understand what anger is and how much power you are giving somebody else, you don't have a choice. Because sometimes it's not about your will, it's not about your design, it's not about your intentions. Sometimes it could be a chemical imbalance. Sometimes it could be the food that you're eating. I grew up in the hood, and back in the days, nobody had an air conditioner in the projects. So in the summer, when it's very hot, you know how you sleep and you sweat on your pillow and you can't sleep because it's too hot? So people are waking up hot in the hood without an AC. So what do you think they're doing with that hotness? They're coming to the streets hot because of something as simple as not having an air conditioner. So sometimes it's not a choice. But for the most part, yes, Earl, I do agree that it is a choice. But there are other things and other contributing factors and outside sources that contribute to your anger. Sometimes you don't have a choice, but it is our responsibility to do the due diligence to understand and recognize our anger and where it comes from.
Wait, can I let me jump in. Anger is not a choice. It's not. Psychologically speaking, it is not a choice. I feel like I stand on good authority saying this, right? Or Miguel, we rock for a little bit. Anger is not a choice, right? Even for those of us that are religious, right? The Bible says, "Hey, be angry, but sin not." And there's the key, right? It's the anger is not a choice. What you do with the anger is the choice, right? So like it's part of the human emotion. It is you can look up grief processes, healing processes, like the anger is in there, right? And we just have to be careful when we're responding to things that our anger doesn't align us with affliction.
It's a real
I agree.
All right, let me jump in here before y'all get all
Get him, Val.
philosophical on me and shit.
Get him, Val.
My level of petty is outrageous. So I'm very much unbothered. Um, and if you get me to a point where I'm telling you like I'm done, I don't want to continue the conversation because you're not being reasonable and you continue on, I will cut you down so politically correct. It will make you sit back and think why you even came for me in the first place. But I think that my level of petty is just being too chill. Like, I got this aura about me that if you argue, you gonna argue with yourself because I don't do that. I'm not giving you that energy. When you want to talk to me in a respectable, calm manner, then we can have a conversation. But if you want to get belligerent and irate, you're going to be mad because I'm not giving you that energy at all. And I'm going to give you that look like, are you done yet? Are you done? Because you're doing too much.
Right. No
At
respect.
that point, you want to keep going because you're like, damn, I'm not getting no energy from you. I'm not getting no reaction for what? What is us yelling back and forth at each other going to solve? We both
Right.
going to be yelling. Nobody's going to get no resolution. It's pointless.
It's like on the radio. Like when I was in the military, we talked a lot on the radio, right? If the sender of the message and the receiver of the message is on two different frequencies, words get lost. And that just adds to further anger, right? So that unfazed piece that Armiga was talking about earlier comes from knowing yourself. Hey, these are my triggers, these are my boundaries, this is what I'm absolutely not standing with. And the reason that it's important for you to know yourself like that is because at that point you can know where to calibrate yourself and say, hey, I'm not going past this. And this allows you to formulate
Come on,
pre-planned
Doug.
responses
Welcome
to triggers. Right. And like, so you can say, hey, look, I know this right here. And if this happens, I'm going to be like this. So if that's the case, then why not come up with something as a pre-planned response? Hey, if Susie's at this barbecue and me and Susie got on site beef, I'm just gonna go to the other room and chill with other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's petty, but like have a pre-planned response to what it is that your triggers. And like again, it all comes with regulating your frequency.
What's good, Chevy? Welcome in.
I,
Yes.
I like what he's talking about because again, I'm gonna say this whether people like it or not. We have lost track with fundamentals. We have lost track with basic communication skills. The whole frequency, people like to force conversations. There's a time and place and an energy that needs to be present when you're having a conversation. And if it's not there, recognize it and save it for another time. People keep forcing conversations, and when you push someone to be uncomfortable with themselves, they'll end up blaming you for the person. Oh, he got me angry. She got me angry. That's not the way it works. You allow yourself to be angry because you're not putting the work in. Once you put the work in, you will laugh at yourself of how petty you've been with yourself.
Ooh, shit.
Oop, not only just that, if you giving off anger with the mind frame to receive anger back, what was the point to even have that conversation? You ain't about to get nowhere.
Ooh, say that shit again for the people in the back. Go ahead, DJ.
Hey, Val.
Hey, sir.
Hey, I'm gonna let y'all into a spot that I don't let people in too often, just to give y'all a preview. We keep talking about energy and keep circulating around that word. Your energy can be diminished too by something somebody says. So necessarily outrage and anger and things like that might not be the answer all the time. I got a To make a long story short, I got a phone call from my son earlier this week, and he told me some things, and it put me in a dark spot. I truly wanted to go cuss my mom out, right? I mean, just full fledged, like she don't exist. So I got quiet. I got super quiet to the point I almost damn near got depressed, and I felt it coming on. And this is why I should have picked up the phone and called Teddy or Amiga. They've been telling me to call them, and I just hadn't done it. So that's my fault on that. But the person that was there for me is Val. One text message, and she just started responding. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate that shit, because I shed tears this week, and I'm fighting tears now to know that somebody that I barely even know stood in the gap for my emotions at a time when I was hurt. I need everybody to get those people around them so we don't go off the deep end and really hurt other people or get super angry. And I just want to let everybody know that Val, I truly appreciate you in that moment, and forevermore, like for real, for real.
I got you.
And just to
Yo,
give you guys a tip, right? Before, give me a second, Doug. I got you, bro. Before we even give the tip to that, this is you got to keep in mind the work Val has done on herself to even be able to do something like that. Val wasn't that person before she started doing the work on herself. There was no conversation you couldn't have a conversation with her in regards to just your like it trying to open up. That wasn't something that she was about. She didn't care for that. That took work. Let's put that out there before we even go a step further. To be able to conversate with somebody about what you're going through and them being able to embody it and understand it without overwhelming themselves, that takes work. That takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work. It's a lot of responsibility to be able to hone in on somebody else's energy and take somebody else's energy and not attack them, not make them feel uncomfortable. Just sit there and listen. It takes a lot. It's not an easy thing to do. So the fact that she was able to do that to him, kudos to Val for sure.
I definitely appreciate that, Teddy. And I appreciate you for helping me to understand that I needed to start that healing journey to get to where I am today.
No problem, no problem. That's what we here for. We family. See what I'm saying? Let's hit a joke about often we all do need emotional. Yeah, no. Emotional support human is wild.
Funny
Um,
thing is, I'm on like
facts.
day 2 of my healing journey, and I've never seen you guys before. I don't know any of you guys, and you guys just popped up on my fucking page, and like, yo, this shit means a lot to me, yo. Like, I've been listening to y'all, and like, yo, it's helping me a lot, like putting things in perspective for me. And like, I just want to say I appreciate every last person in here for that.
Of course, man.
And,
Welcome in
and
for
we appreciate you.
welcome in for the first time. Holding that. Listen, I love hearing that, right? Because when you're going through your process of healing, it manifests what you need, right? It always manifests what you need and the things that you need to be around and the environments that you need to be around. It always does. You know what I'm saying? Because if you speak it into existence, if you're thinking about it in a spiritual aspect, you will manifest it. If you don't want to be around negativity, manifest that you don't want to be around negativity. If you want to be around positivity, manifest that you want to be around positivity. If you want to be around people that are healing or working on their healing journey, manifest that. You have to manifest that. You can't just think that it's just gonna fall on your lap. You gotta manifest it, then you gotta work on it. Just for a quick commercial break. Make sure you guys are tapping the screen. We're almost at 40K. If we can get to 50K before the 50K is good because we're like I said.
I'll take a 50.
Yeah, 50 is good. I think because we this topic is gonna be a segment. It's gonna be segments. We can't do it all in one live. So it's probably gonna be for the rest of the month. Probably going into the next month. Um,
Definitely going into May.
no, right. It's gonna go into May, probably the second week of May. Having talking about anger management. So let's everybody tap the screen. Make sure y'all sharing out the live. Um, for the new people that are here, make sure y'all hit the link tree and grab the book. Grab the mental mind your mental book that is available now on Amazon in hardcover, paperback, and Kindle. With the Kindle, you can also download Kindle on your phone, your iPad, your Samsung Galaxy tablet, your Galaxy phone, your computer. If you have a computer, if you have a laptop, you can download Kindle and purchase the book. If you have Kindle Unlimited, the book is free. With your subscription with Kindle Unlimited. If you do not have a Kindle, it's $9.99 for the Kindle version. For the hardcover, it is 25. Well, for the paperback, it's 25. For the hardcover, it's 28. So if you guys want to have something that help you with your process, and kind of give you some tools that's needed that kind of let you see a different perspective on your healing journey, definitely grab the book. It's gonna help you. It might trigger you a little bit because we see things about ourselves when we see it in writing form. You definitely think of a different perspective. It's gonna hit you a little bit different. The only person that's really read the whole book in full capacity was Hormiga, and Hormiga was even flabbergasted with what was in the book. So, if Hormiga want to speak on it a little bit, go for it, brother.
I do. I mean, wow, look what just happened. I got excited. So yes, I was reading the book and I saw a lot of myself in there. You know, I would suggest to people to do a little bit of shadow work
Okay.
before you do this book because this book is interactive. This book requires you to actually think. It requires you to do a little bit of writing. So I would suggest that people do a little bit of shadow work. And what that looks like is just visiting your inner child and going to the deep rooted issues that we have. It's not an easy thing to do. Nothing that we talk about here is an easy task. But the reason why we don't put the word difficulties in there is because it's more of a challenge. People need to start changing their mindset and take difficulties and let them become challenges because they're more inviting. People actually push difficulties away. So what I can jump on real quick before anybody else goes, and then after I say this, I don't know what the order is. So be
I got
mindful
something I
of
want to bring up after, and then
all right, cool. So just two quick little things. Um, when a person has a personal connection to something, it could be the most pettiest thing, it could be the most useless thing on earth. It's hard to separate them from that personal connection. When you threaten that personal connection in one way, shape, or form, it could be through conversation. It could even be a look. You know how you look at somebody a certain way, and right away they're assuming like, why are you giving me that look? They're protecting their space, right? They don't want these spaces because do you realize that most of the time when you talk to people, especially if it's a new relationship, that when you talk to people and when you're in their presence, they're still harboring and hovering over a person that's no longer in their life. And there's things that you say and there's things that you do that remind them of that. That's number one. Number two, let's go the opposite way. The fear of rejection is real, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't allow us to actually move forward because we don't want to be rejected. And then when you realize that you would have never known, you could make yourself angry from the moves that you didn't make. Most anxiety comes from the things that we're not doing because we keep telling ourselves, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this, I got to do that. That causes anxiety. And then you get mad at yourself. You're like, how do I stop this? What do I have to do? Why is this happening? Sometimes leaving it alone and walking away and saving it for a better time is the answer. So don't let the fear of rejection or a personal connection to something that has no value whatsoever stop you from having a fruitful conversation. Conversations are important. You cannot harbor and stay quiet all the time. It is very functional to have a conversation, people. So again, there's 12 different ways to learn, 12 different ways to express yourself. So there is no excuses as to how you express yourself. We talked about outlets, music, right? We talked about dancing. We talked about art, arts and crafts, video games. We talked about many things that we do to keep us at a level that we're functional. I just want you to be mindful of that. Go ahead, Betty.
Before we get to the before we continue, right? We go with 11:17. All right, so I wanted to touch on um the way anger makes you feel, like, or what feelings you have when your anger's starting to build up a little bit, because there's several, right? Um, you have the knots in your stomach, right? Your stomach gets a little knotty. You know what I'm saying? You feeling that burning sensation in your stomach because you really wanna spaz out for real. Clenching your hands or jaw, feeling clammy or flushed, breathing fast. That's a big one for a lot of people. They you know what I'm saying? When they get mad, they start huffing and puffing, and they're ready to blow the house down. You get headaches. Believe it or not, when your emotions is through the roof, you do get your head does start hurting because you're trying to figure out why you're feeling the way that you're feeling. And if you can't figure it out, it becomes that. Welcome in, Canberra. Pacing or needing to walk around, seeing red, as Hormiga said earlier today. You start seeing red. Having trouble concentrating, not being able to focus. You're kind of just all over the place. You know what I'm saying? That kind of falls into the pacing and needing to walk around because you're trying to gain your concentration back, trying to pace yourself going back and forth, but you tend to lose yourself. Your heart's pounding, and sometimes it could be due to the fear of what you're capable of or what the situation is as in regards to your anger, and you're tensing your shoulders. That's a good one. Uh,
Okay. You opened the door, right? You want to
we're gonna
you opened it. You open the door, so let me throw a couple of extra words in there with you so that people can see it from
All
a
right, so
whole.
I'll let Harmika go, and then I'm gonna let Coach go, and then I want to let Sweet Tea go because she just
I'm,
came
I'm,
up.
I'm, I'm just completing what you said to add a
Oh
couple
no,
of
no,
things
no!
because
I know that's what I mean. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, because I know Coach gonna get
I
it
don't
too.
want nobody to miss it because some people when we speak, they'll take those words and run with it. Be open-minded about this. There is tense, nervous, unable to relax. You actually feel guilty sometimes when you're angry, resentful, easily irritated, overwhelmed. You can't control yourself. And here's the big word that nobody's using: humiliation. It is humiliating to display your emotions in an outrage or in an anger. It is embarrassing because I know that I was embarrassed for some of the things that I said, how it ended up going, and how I went down a rabbit hole of, okay, you made me feel like this, so now I have the license to say this about you. I've been holding back for a long time telling you something about yourself. So let me tell you something about yourself because you're not smelling yourself. So let me show you that you have odor like everybody else. That all comes from humiliation.
Go ahead, Coach, and then I'll let Sweet Tea go. 'Cause I know she'll have something quick to say.
No, I
But
just wanted to tie your points together, right? What you gentlemen just explained was how we oftentimes lose perspective of how mind, body, and spirit are connected. And to go back to your other point about manifesting, right? As much as it works for positive, it also does the same thing with things like anger and sadness, right? Everything starts in your head, then it moves to your heart, and then eventually has to manifest itself in your hands, right? Head, heart, hands. That's how it goes, right? You think it, you believe it, you do it, and that's where like that humiliation piece comes from. And then to like put a bow on what Amiga was saying, right? We have to know the difference between shame and regret. You should regret, actions in which you jumped out of character and things like that. But when you say I feel ashamed about it, then you're adopting that regret as a character trait. And if you adopt that as a character trait, then you start to live your life indicative of that being a character trait. And that's the difference, right? We have to get down to the nitty gritty, the technical details about hey, I regret that I did this, or I don't like the fact that I did this, but I can't carry that around as shame. And your outward expression will then go the other way. It'll go from your hands to your heart back to your head, and then this is going to be the key to staying in a positive headspace and heart space.
go ahead, babe.
You might have to mute because we might echo because we're in the same house. I just wanted to play off what Arbika said earlier about staying in spaces where you are allowing that emotion to come out. I've been on this kick. I will stay on this kick until every single person gets it in their head. If you would rather be disrespected than ostracized, you have some serious work to do. Walk away from spaces that you are not celebrated. Surround yourself with like-minded people. Not to say that you should surround yourself with an echo chamber, but surround yourself with people who are showing progress in their self-work, that actually want to do the work, that actually want to progress forward. But if you will stand there and let people disrespect you just because you want to fit in, you need to dig deeper into what your goals and aspirations are, because you're going to literally stay stagnant. And I'll say it again one more time. Do not stand and be disrespected over the fear of being ostracized if you don't remove yourself from that spot. I would rather be respected in a place where people are actually working on themselves than disrespected in a place of people that don't know even how to respect themselves.
And I know that I hit people a little bit deep, and that dug a little bit deep, but it needed to be said. It needed to be said because, like with what we're doing here, we're focusing on ourselves. This right here is a self accountability environment, right? We hold ourselves accountable, but we kind of teach you how to hold yourself accountable. We give you the tools within our life experiences and the education that we've gathered. Not saying that we're licensed to do this. We're not licensed to do anything. We're not, we're not
I am.
psychologists. We're not well, besides you. That's beside the point. Yes, you are.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. He's certified.
He's certified. I'm not yet certified, but I'm working on it. I'm getting there. But I want everybody to really take in what she said. You make the decisions on what environment you walk into. You make the decision on the things that you hone into, whether it be on this app or in real life. You make the conscious decision. Don't complain about what's going on or what's happening, what's being said about you if you keep walking into those environments.
I'll even add on to that. You got to make a conscious decision to set boundaries in what you will and will not allow in your life. And if somebody is coming around you with low vibrational energy, disrespect, and hurt, you got to know when to say no, when enough is enough, and just cut yourself away from that. Cut ties, whatever you got to do to stay in a healthy mind state because people will bring you down, especially when they feel like shit. Excuse my French.
You're good.
They
You're
will
good.
try to bring you down to their level each and every time just to have somebody where they are. And that is the definition of misery needing company. And I'm going to just leave that on the table.
Listen, I, another thing too before I let Doug go because Doug just unmuted. Never live in your san. You never live in your insanity. I mean when I say that because Armika knows where I'm going with this. Never live in your insanity. Because Armika, what's the definition of insanity?
Well, Einstein's
Repeating the
version
same
is
thing
if you
over
keep
and
doing
over
things
again
over and
and
over.
expecting a different result.
Right, but that is not the official. That is the
That's not the
adapted
official. That's
version.
not that. Listen, that's a good one. But I want Harmika to give the. Go ahead, give it to him.
The real definition of insanity is you're nuts. You're crazy. You are at a different level. You may not be able to come back from the real definition. Once you have been deemed insane, there really is no coming back from that. So what Einstein was talking about, Einstein was a physicist and a mathematician. So he was just putting it together for you guys because the truth of the matter is if you do things over and over, and you expect a different result doesn't apply to everything because there are things that you have to be disciplined for to continue to do until you get to that point. So please, guys, don't take references and run out the gate and say, I just learned a new reference. Einstein said that he's not a psychiatrist. He's not a mental health therapist. He is a physicist that does mathematical solutions from a linear perspective. One thing I will add to whatever we're talking about is, and for the love of the universe, please stop thinking that you are more special than everybody else, that what a person is doing to everybody else won't happen to you. Stop thinking that you're so special. That's not going to happen to me. He won't do that to me. She won't do that to me. It's coming. It is coming, ladies and gentlemen. Stop guessing that this person is not going to do to you what they do to everyone because what do we say? A spade is a spade, right?
Right.
And I keep asking people a question. Is a zebra a white horse with black stripes or a black horse with white stripes? And everybody will say, well, I think it's a white horse. I think it's a black horse. No, a zebra's not a horse. A zebra's a zebra.
Hey, you better stop swimming in my swimming pool, bro.
Bro, you
All
know
right.
we go
So
back. A lot of us go way back three years plus. There's a lot of us that actually have real conversations. This is just not a TikTok thing. We talk behind the scenes. We do the studying. We encourage people to educate themselves. We encourage people to move forward with their dreams, hopes, and inspirations. You understand? And We have arguments too. Things
Oh
can
yeah.
get a little bit heated even with people you know, but you got to be a person of class. You have to have results orientated mindset in order for you to get from point A to point B. Now there goes your Einstein.
And I love it. Doug, I know you wanted to say something. Go ahead and unmute and say something, bro. Go. I know you had something to say. Because you came up here and unmuted. So if you got the floor
Man,
for it.
like I'm just listening and like what I was about to say, like bro just put it in perspective for me. So it's like I really have nothing to say anymore.
Listen, learning and understanding and open to understand different things and learn different things is why we're here. Okay, we're not just sitting there trying to teach you these things. We're learning as we're teaching. As I always say, a teacher is the best student because no matter if they're teaching you or not, they are still learning. They are still learning. Riz, go ahead, brother.
Hey guys, I'm sorry for being pressed for time and rushing in. I just wanted to drop one thing, and I gotta run. You guys are on point with so many of these things, and anyone getting this information is truly blessed, and this is all beneficial. One thing I wanted to add about anger was critical thought, and that was one thing that I didn't hear mentioned at all. Um,
Wasn't even
when
there yet.
Earl was mentioning the choice in the anger, it's the critical thought behind it. If you're
Right.
not if you're not holding the capacity of critical thought, if you're not capable of critical thought, then the anger is inevitable, it is overwhelming, and it is something that will explode instantly without your control. So, if you work on just regular, normal, everyday critical thought techniques, that can be super beneficial into you being able to deal with a multitude of other problems, especially when it comes to emotional regulation. And I'll leave it there, guys. Thanks so much.
We appreciate you, brother Rizzle, my nizzle. We listen. Me and Riz had a whole conversation right on live the other day. Even though we had a little situation that happened within that live, but that's beside the point. We had a great conversation. Me, Riz, and Earl. We were kind of speaking about just knowing when to have a conversation and knowing when not to have a conversation. And adding fuel to the fire of said conversation and pretty much blowing your house apart because you want to be right all the damn time and you have to prove that you're right. So you try to push the conversation and push the conversation and push the conversation so that way you can get your point across, not knowing that you setting your whole house on fire, trying to push a conversation that don't need to be had right there and then because both of you are not in a sound mind to have that conversation. So it becomes an argument, and an argument becomes a fight, and then a fight becomes that fight becomes just nobody learning or understanding anything that's going on within that situation. Be mindful of that, okay? Because that also falls under anger management. It falls under that category. Just to give you guys that because I know a lot of people that do it. Okay, they don't want to hear perspectives. They just want to hear their voice and they want to hear their talk and the things that come out their mouth. But they don't hear anything else that you're saying. They don't hear nothing that you're saying. They don't, even though you're talking in a very open mind, like in an open minded type of way, being very mindful of the conversation that you're having, putting a different perspective in the conversation. They don't want to hear what you have to say. They just hear their own words and their own thoughts.
Can
So,
I can I jump in right here?
no, go ahead. Have fun.
Oh, no, hey man, I always want to show respect, bro. Like,
No, listen. You are as part of this family as anybody else, brother. Trust and believe. You've been here. You've been here as long as everybody else has.
no, I wrote about this in my book, right? What I recommend for relationships or anything like that that we have a
Easy,
strong
girl.
affection for is that you do check-ins, right? I wrote about this, right? Where like I recommend couples every 2 weeks to have like almost like a business meeting. Hey, how are things going? Is there anything that I can do better?
Right.
Here's what I think needs to be improved on your side, right? And this is a no holds bar conversation, and this is done outside of anger because, like, I'm sitting here, and it's not that I'm going like tick for tat or anything like that, but like, I mean, I'm sure that we've all been in relationships where like, dang man, I wish that she would, or women like, dang man, I wish that he would, right? So if you're having these I don't know what conversations, meetings, or whatever, but like you sit down and you have them, right, and you take notes, right. One is going to keep the temperature down because the person recognizes that they're being heard, right, and you're attentively listening. Two, you're gonna be like write stuff down, so that is gonna subconsciously keep their voice down. Two, you don't have to wait until you're triggered by something to speak on it. So you're gonna speak about it like as respect, right? And then I recommend for like couples that do it, that before you begin this conversation, you start with a hug. You hug each other and you sit down and you go in. Why? Because the hug is going to remind you of the connection, subconsciously, and now you're going to air out all your grievances or what have you, and now you can sit back and now you have a metric to measure: is this actually getting better? And that eventually will stop you from speaking in absolutes.
So crazy thing is,
Hey,
I'm glad that you said that because me and Sweetie in the chat, babe, we actually do that every month.
I wish I would have learned this a few weeks ago. I wouldn't be in a position I'm in right now.
Hey man, buy my book. Nah, I'm
hey,
joking. Um,
hey, I will say this though. You're always right where you need to be at the right time, and when you're always ready for the lesson, the teacher will appear. I learned that this morning from African Live. I love their sayings, bro. But um, as far as like before you have those conversations and stuff, I've noticed myself, especially within the last year, of me being aware of how I talk or speak, whatever. But I say, I'm not doing this to attack you. I'm not doing this to make you feel condescending. I'm asking these questions to blah 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 blah, or something like that to try to get that person to not necessarily drop their guard, but understand that I'm not coming here to battle you. I'm not coming here for combat. So it's kind of like, I guess, disengaging to a degree. You know what I'm saying? To let them let down their wall so we can have that open conversation. Because of a lot of the past relationships that I've had, like y'all saying, that arguing and not getting nowhere, I despise that. I don't like yelling. If I yell, I'm already too far gone. Like I don't do that. So those are the things that I picked up and
so
working
so
on.
DJ, like real quick, to take that an even step further in that de-escalation process, right? Like just start every statement with "I feel like this when this happens." Right. And that way you're not assigning like the blame to the person, right? So like you make your initial statement, hey, I'm not trying to attack you or anything like that. But when this happens, I feel like this. Right. Then there's no subject. Then the situation becomes the subject and not the person. Right. Number one. And then number two, before you move on from like points, you can even start with a question. Hey, why does this behavior happen? Why, like, what was the source behind this? Because I feel like this. And before that person moves on, you say, hey, you said this, I heard this, and from that I understood this. Is that correct? Right. It sounds corny. It sounds tedious, but out of respect for the love and the relationship, right? That's a small investment. It's a simple matter in terms of what the payoff is going to be in the end.
That is a good way to see that.
See,
I like that.
the only thing I can rebuttal to that is this, and it's not really a rebuttal, it's just something I've noticed. Every time I've asked my partner a question, they always take it as I'm trying to demean them or something,
Now, I'm gonna
or I'm
rotate you
trying
on.
to make them feel
I'll be
less
back up.
than. So it's kind of, when it comes to those questions like that, it's kind of hard for me, because that's the reciprocation that I get from when I ask those questions, so to speak.
But DJ, hold up. That's not really a you problem, see? And the whole thing about this is people don't seem to understand that these things are catchy. When they see you working on yourself and they see that it's working and they see that you've changed, there's only two things that they could do. They could fight you about it or they could join. Because sometimes if you can't beat them, sometimes you got to join them. And that goes a long way, my brother. You understand what I'm saying? So all I could tell you and everybody else, if you're doing the work, continue to do it. Open your mind. And please, let's not forget about the physical locomotion and the metabolism that goes into this. Sometimes when you're stressed out or sometimes when you're angry, you may need to take a walk. You may need to take a jog. You may need to do some sit ups. You may need to channel that because think about this. It goes from a thought to a feeling to an emotion. Once it reaches the emotion part, it's almost guaranteed that there has to be a reaction there or it became physical. So the only way to remove something physical from your body that entered your body is to remove it physically.
I got a question for that.
Yes.
So, Coach, you said something like, "Yo, when you go into your partner and you ask him like, yo, you bring it up in a way like you say, you know, I feel like this, I feel like that. What if you do that and then they flip it around and make it about them? Like you telling them how you feel, how what they're doing make you feel. Then they flip it around and make it seem like it's all about them. Like, what do you do? What do you do then?
So in regards to that, right? The only thing I can say in regards to that is you cannot control the way that they respond. Understand that. You cannot control the way that they respond to what you're saying. And put it in the aspect of this. When you're expressing yourself, don't express yourself for them. Express yourself for you. Because you're trying to express yourself in a way that they understand, whether they understand it or not. You're expressing yourself for you. I've learned that over the years that you're not gonna get the response that you're looking for from everybody.
I
You
mean,
get what I'm saying?
most of the time I do that, and I'm being called a narcissist for that. Like, how does that work?
I,
So, oh,
I'm gonna say this, bro. I would check your tone first when you ask those questions. Make sure you just check on yourself first. I'm not saying that you are wrong, but I would check your own tone personally first and see how does that tone come across, and then start assessing yourself from there. But go ahead, Teddy.
I was gonna say, first of all, DJ, goddamn, you took the words out of my mouth. But I was gonna say, on past that, right? 9 out of 10 times, and correct me if I'm wrong, Coach. Correct me if I'm wrong, Hormiga. I could be wrong. It's a self reflection of them.
Well, self-reflection turns into projection. I keep trying to tell people that we see ourselves in other people and we think that other people are going to act like we act. So when we change, does our mentality or our perception about that change? Now, let me tell you something about narcissism. Narcissism is a very rare thing. That word keeps flying all over the place and people don't really know what this is. So, for the sake of narcissistic behavior is very small percentage of people that now you could have narcissistic tendencies, but in order to have the full narcissistic syndrome, that is a very rare thing. What I will say about narcissism, and I said it in the chat, narcissism is more about not losing than winning. Narcissistic people don't want to lose.
Right.
They don't want to be abandoned, and they don't want to lose control. And the control that I'm talking about is the possessive kind, the one where they dictate what happens next. They deflect a lot. They do all the ghosting and all the light switches and all those things. But let's not be so quick to use that word unless we understand what it really means. Just like how we use family too loosely, just how we use brother or sister too loosely. It's all about intentions, people. So let's not let other people call us things that they themselves might be.
Can I drop a bombshell?
Please.
Yeah, go ahead. Have fun.
So narcissistic personality disorder is like it takes to be clinically diagnosed, right? But the truth of the matter is every single person walking the face of this earth has narcissistic traits. Narcissism is graded on a scale, right? And it goes from 0 to 31. The normal person is about a 5, between a 5 and a 15. You're not considered a clinically narcissist until you score above a 21. And then even then, there's some sociopathic tendencies that tend to go along with your behavior, right? Where you have a lack of empathy and a lack of compassion. But everybody, especially content creators, right? We're content creators. We create content. We want the likes. That's narcissistic. People who always want to help their friends out and be the go-to person or the strong friend. That's a narcissistic trait, right? So what I want people to recognize, and I'm glad that you brought that up. We throw that term around, and a lot of people are ignorant to what the actual definition is. The truth of the matter is, every single person walking the face of this earth has those traits, and it's just a matter if you score above that 21 or not to be clinically diagnosed.
Honestly, you
Hey,
won't be able to
hey, let
function
Earl go. Earl
without
been had
some
his
of it.
hand up for a while.
Just real
No,
quick,
no,
we
I got
won't
it.
be
I
able to
got it.
function without some of that narcissism.
Go ahead, Earl. I'll let you take the floor, and then I'm gonna let Jeep Girl and then Sweet Tea.
All right. Two things. First thing, brother Life, thank you. I do stand corrected in my last premise. It isn't the anger that's a choice, it's the action or reaction to the anger. I do stand corrected. Thank you, brother, for that. I will move on to what I was gonna say. In my opinion, how I apply, like to Brother Doug's example, where the other person, you can be explaining or communicating to the other person how their actions make you feel, then they flip it to make it like you're attacking them. And then more to what King was saying about our previous conversation about knowing when to have a conversation and not burning the whole house down just to be right. One of the tools I do, stop caring. Stop caring. Like, is it more important to wreck the whole relationship or the whole friendship or burn that bridge just to be right? Right? Is it that important? Right? And sometimes can we just let it go? If that other person is going to stand 10 toes down and they get down, do we really care that much to be right? Or can we keep it pushing? Right? So in that moment, right then and there, I think it's more important that you be heard and not agreed with. That's how you sidestep that whole narcissism argument or etc. Right? In my opinion, how I apply it. If I'm talking to my person or I'm talking to this family member and I tell them, hey, this is how I feel. This is how I'm understanding this. You don't have to agree with me, right? You don't have to agree with me. Just confirm that you are
You can
hearing
jump
what
in.
I'm saying, right? You hear what your actions are doing to me. You don't have to agree with them, or you don't have to agree with what I'm saying, but you understand how I feel, right? Even though you disagree with me. That has to be enough. It I think we do more harm when we push and we push and we push until the other person agrees with us. They don't always have to agree with you. They just have to understand how you feel. So therefore they can take accountability if you move forward and it happens again and they say, oh, well, I disagree. Wait, but I told you. I told you. You disagree. Just because you disagree with me does not equate to me not telling you. I told you, but you disagreed with me. But however, you knew this was my stance. That has to be enough. And then you can move forward onto some other shit.
Lord Jesus, this
Damn,
is
you
why I
guys
like my
help
community. I love my community.
like,
I
cause
really
as of right now, my relationship, me and her, we're done. I'm still trying to put the work in and try to see if it can be repaired, but I'm not sure if it can be at this point. So like, yo, this is helping me a lot to figure it out.
You're not alone, brother. The thing of it is, instead of looking at it as the end, looking at it as a beginning, because the work that you made, let's first of all, you don't lose your individualism in a relationship, because a relationship is two individuals that come together to coexist. When you lose your individualism, you're feeding too much into the relationship and you're leaving yourself behind. Regardless if you're in a relationship or not, you still got to pour into yourself because you're a part of that relationship. So the more you do for you, the more you could do for the relationship. Period.
again for the
Hey, can I
people. Hold on, time out, time out, time out.
go ahead? Go
A
ahead. Go
lot
ahead.
of people don't like hearing that shit. A lot of people don't like hearing that, but I need you to say it again. I'm sorry, say it again. Go
The
ahead, do it.
individualism is important in a relationship. It's you have to be you in order to pour into the relationship. So you can't leave yourself behind. The work that you trying to fix could be the fix in you. Can't fix
Shameless
the
plug.
relationship if you have flaws that are contributing to the demise of the relationship. And it may not, I'm not saying that it's your fault, but sometimes we go too deep trying to find fault in something that has no fault. You just gotta live your life on a daily basis and don't worry about the future and don't worry about the past because the present is more important. You have to be here in order to be there. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Hey,
Hey,
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
My bad, coach. I just want to say, bro, it sounds like you going through something that's real, real fresh. But I'm gonna say this.
I got you.
Even in your hurt, right?
Miss Ducky, I'm
Sit
gonna
back,
fix you up real quick. I'll bring you
sit
back
back,
up.
and sit back and look at your past relationship for however long it was. And if you can look at that relationship and honestly say that you lost yourself within that relationship, that you didn't gain anything from that relationship mentally, physically, emotionally, etc., 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 then that relationship is not worth going back to, no matter how bad that shit hurts. I'm telling you that is. We have to be real with ourselves when we're going through in and out of relationships, because a part of the people that we do link up with is part of the problems and the trauma that we see in ourselves sometimes. So when I'm saying like self-analyze, like really sit back and look at your part in the relationship, not saying that everything is your fault. Look at your part in the relationship, look at your partner's part in the relationship, what it boiled down to, and if, and this is for men and women both, if you was ever disrespected in that relationship, physically, mentally, and emotionally, leave it where it's at. Because
So,
it's not fertilizer. It's not good ground to grow on.
right. So for the people that want to purchase the book, because me and Mar just asked, the book at the link tree in my bio has all three books. So depending on which version of the book you want to purchase, it's available. The Kindle version is $9.99 unless you have Kindle Unlimited, then it's free. If the paperback is 25, the hardcover is 28. So if you guys want to purchase the book, the book is available within my link tree. All three copies, all three links are available. We also have the Discord, which is the fourth link that we opened up to the community. And if you guys want to join the Discord and get just get access to the resources and the hubs that the resources that we put in the channels, they're all available for people that are within the Discord. The information is free. The Discord's free. Just join the community, join the environment. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you have the Discord downloaded on your phone, tablet, whatever, so that way the link actually works in the bio. Go ahead, sweetie. Go for it.
We'll probably meet up because I'm gonna echo. Sorry. Uh, Coach, I just want to say that I very much appreciate the fact that you brought up that check-in. It's something that we practice religiously in this home. What I'd love to say is that this gives us a safe space to openly talk about things that need to be spoken about. And it takes a lot of the heightened emotion out of things when you can sit down and have those conversations at a point where you're both ready. Because if you try to have those conversations in the spur of a moment argument, things are going to go south real quick. Real quick. So, when King and I first got together, it was a conversation that I had with him, and I said, "Listen, I have seen many of my relationships not work because of things that I let fester. They let fester. I said spur of the moment off of emotion. They've said off the spur of emotion. I want to make sure that that doesn't happen in this relationship." So once a month, I'd love to sit down and have a check in and really talk about how we're both feeling, what went right, what didn't go so right, what do we need to work on for the next month, what do we see that we need to work on individually and together. And I'm not only going to say that I put that into effect with my relationship, but now I'm thinking of it and I'm going to start putting it into effect with a lot of my friendships as well. Because a lot of the time, we keep people around us for an extended amount of time that maybe we're just destined to be there for a season. And it's the things that we don't want to sit there and think about or talk about with those people that we just avoid and let slide over and over and over again that we could have spoken about in the beginning that wouldn't lead to the demise of our relationship later on down the line. Maybe they weren't meant for a season. Maybe if we checked it 2 seasons ago, it wouldn't have festered. So I want to thank you, Coach, for bringing that up and kind of sparking that thought. I already put the groundwork in with my relationship, but I want to make sure that I put that groundwork into all of my relationships, meaning my friendships, meaning my relationships with family, so on and so forth.
No, blessings. Thank you. And it's one of those things. Like, one of the best things that the people that love me or that claim to love me can say to me is, "Why are you still like this?" Right? That's one of the best things that they can say to me, because it lets me know that I'm not being accountable for what we agreed upon. Right? Let's be clear. Let's be clear. Like, if people around me don't hold me accountable, I don't need you. I'm at a place. I'm at a place now where,
Bingo.
yeah. If you're not holding me accountable, right? And when we met, like King or Omega, right? You guys hold me accountable, right? Like Omega, I was working on my first book, right? When we first met, right? And if I never put it out, I would expect you to be sorry, y'all. I would never, if I still didn't put the first one out, I would expect you to be like, "Yo, D, what's going on? You said this information was dropping." And if you didn't do that, that shows me your level of care and concern for my progression and my growth. And so it's important for these check-ins, right? Because put your relationships in a very practical example is a house, right? Your left hand and your right hand are the walls of the house. The other person's left hand and right hand are the walls to the house. And together, the roof represents the bond that you share, because this is where the house comes together, right? So we're going to hold hands in this thing together, and we're going to make sure that our covering, the things that we signed up for, are hey, knock it off. I'm gonna drop down and go farther after this. But the thing that the
The,
thing
the,
that
ba- the baby is holding you accountable.
he is. The thing that bonds the relationship together is the fact that we're gonna cover one another, right? And we're both responsible for holding up the covering of the relationship. So let's join hands, left hand, right hand, left hand, right hand. Those are the four walls, and our individually growth are the sides of the walls. And when we come together, this relationship is the bond, because this is where the roof is formed.
There you go. There you go. Listen.
That sounded
Look,
like some ism
Hold
right
on.
there, boy. That sounded like some serious isms.
We got 4 minutes to go. I haven't heard from Jeep Girl.
hey, I'm gonna drop down real quick. I appreciate the space. As always, and if I can, the link is in the bio to both of these books. Like, the stuff that I was dropping today is in there. And I can't wait to get into this one. Mind Your Mental. I'm about to order mine right now. Hey, can I get an autograph one from you?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We can make that happen.
Yeah, I'll hit you up and see how we can work that out.
Okay. Listen, Earl just asked the same question in the chat. We can make that happen. We can figure out how to make that
Hold
happen.
on, hold on, Juan. Before you go, right? Because we're not gonna let anybody up because we're about to close it down. We're gonna hear from Jeep Girl. But before you go, can you give us a quick little one-liner before you go?
Wake up for a purpose, on purpose, and in purpose. And this is going to propel you towards where it is that you need to be.
Thank you.
Sprinkle, sprinkle.
Never
Sprinkle,
fails. We're not
sprinkle.
letting anybody up. So Jeep Girl, you just I don't think we heard from Jeep Girl. Definitely if you
Yeah,
wanna.
no, Jeep Girl is the last person. She needs to,
Okay.
and then we gotta close it out.
Good morning, beautiful people.
Good morning. Good morning.
So, anger management.
It's a tough one, right?
First off, I want to say this. Definitely going to snag that book because I know it's going to be a good read. However, I am going to drop another book because this book changed my perspective, not only about myself, but about other people and how I respond. But it's called The Four Agreements. Yes, I knew, I knew, Omega, that you have heard of this.
I've read a lot of books. I'm with you.
But this book that really made me look within myself and see other people, the first agreement was be impeccable with your words. The second agreement is don't take anything personally. And the third is don't make assumptions and always do your best. But the biggest thing was I didn't realize about myself that and this happens in arguments, so the anger comes in, is taking things, being offended by what other people say. And I didn't see myself as being that way, but it can be something really simple, really small. And and it made me check myself first. And then it made me realize that I don't have to pick up everything that people drop. I don't have to take that on as my own. So that changed everything for me. Number one, about me getting angry, and number two, allowing me to see people where they're at. And so that has like allowed me to not become angry and get into confrontations, and also it's deflected a lot of disagreements in my life.
What's going on, brother?
I don't find myself getting as angry as I once did. So I just needed to drop that little gem. Definitely get Mind Your Mental book, because I'm sure it's going to be good. But the Four Agreements, it's a real simple read, easy, quick read. If you want a little more enlightenment, snag it.
Can you do me a favor? Because I know you're a part of the Discord. Can you drop that book or the link to that book in the
Yeah,
Discord? I will attach.
Definitely.
I sure can.
Another book that I'm going to recommend to people if you haven't heard it, and this is a real book. People think that I'm playing games. There's a book that's called The Art or the Skill of I Don't Give a F.
I seen that.
Let me
I
tell you
seen
something
that.
about this book. If you're not ready, don't play games with that book. But for those that are ready, and it doesn't mean stop giving in total. It means to remove the fluffy shit out of your life.
Send me the link to that.
That book is crazy, and the book that she's talking about, it's gonna hurt.
Send me
I
the
would
link.
like the link as well.
It's gonna hurt.
Send me the link to that. I'll add it to
Listen,
the Discord.
Teddy, one quick thing before we close up, and we're gonna get the closing statements. I just want to throw something out there really quickly.
Okay.
For those that think that they are anger management and anger specialists, let me give you a couple of different ways to look at anger. A couple of different angers. You have assertive anger, behavioral anger, chronic anger, destructive anger, moral judgment anger, overwhelmed anger, passive aggressive anger, retaliatory anger. Ooh, right? And that's just to name a few.
That's just
There's a
another
lot
few.
more where this came from, and that's why we have to take this subject into next month, because I don't want to be like everybody else that talks on a topic for an hour or 2 hours, lets it go, and then think that people think that they're ready to start rocking and rolling. I'm sorry, that's not the way this works.
Doug, did you download the Discord app on your phone? Because if you haven't downloaded the app on your phone, the link is not going to work. You have to
I've,
download the actual physical app on your phone before you can get into the Discord.
Amir, I see you.
Yeah.
Teddy, you want to do the order so we could do the closing of remarks for this
Yeah,
anger?
we'll go. All right, so just message me on the back end, Doug, or add me on Instagram, and then I'll help you out with that. Um, Earl, go ahead. We're gonna go Earl, Hormiga, Val, Jeep Girl, Mama G, DJ, and then y'all can let Miss Ducky up to get her closing remarks because she's sitting in the queue. And then we'll let her get her closing remarks out too, and then we'll go from there.
In the queue, she might have a private account. Have to bring.
Hold on, it's showing that she's in the queue. Oh, there we go. Oh, you're
Sorry,
private.
that
Okay.
it. Yeah,
All right, no worries. Go ahead, Earl. Go for it, my brother.
All right, I'll close out by saying this. I think my energy level is a little higher, you know what I'm saying, after the live this morning. Let that be the reason. Um, I am gonna leave you with this. I know I'm amongst a lot of authors up here, but however, I'm a computer geek. I'm a tech head, right? So I mean, you all inspired me for a mobile app that I'm gonna write, right? And I might need you all's input on it. I'm thinking about naming it "Hear Me Out," right? And it's for couples, family members, etc. Subscription. Everybody logs into it. Everybody sees the answers, right? So that whole "hear me out," if you go to a therapist or a friend, or if you do open yourself up to somebody else's opinion, they can see both sides of the story and not just yours, right? You'll have
Ooh.
multiple choice responses and the other, if you want to elaborate, agree, disagree, or I don't care, or other, right? So now you can go back and then you could, based on what we talked about today in that checking in process, you can go back to see where you're at on that topic in the relationship today as you were yesterday, right? And then now you have written proof that you all covered this, you talked about it. Nobody's a mind reader. You know how the other person feels, and it's right there in black and white. So I'm gonna work on it, but I'm gonna get y'all feedback on that. And with that being said, I love y'all, and I'm out.
I'm gonna send you my number because that right there, I'm here for that.
Yeah, we need a
Yeah.
powwow. We need a powwow on that one.
Oh hell yeah, we need to power about that one. Hormiga, go for it, my brother.
Um, I'm gonna try to keep it short and sweet. Um, but sometimes I could be tall and sour, and sometimes we have to be mindful of the words that we use, the tone of voice, the volume, the climate in the room. Isn't that a lot of things that we have to actually consider before we even say a word?
Yeah, no, that's crazy, right?
So, but the thing is that the more you practice it, the more you become an autopilot because all these are good habits. And if you don't like something about yourself, stop talking shit and remove it. I know it's easier said than done, but if you keep saying that you can't do something, do you really think that you're going to do it? Change the way you look at yourself. Give yourself some props once in a while, but don't pat yourself in the back for the things that you're supposed to do. Here's the example. Men that keep talking about, but I buy Pampers and I buy milk. You're supposed to do that. Don't pat yourself in the back or expect any acknowledgement from what you're supposed to do. You want acknowledgments for the things that you go above and beyond. I love y'all.
Appreciate you, my brother. Val, go ahead, sis.
I would say stop looking down on people if you don't have the ability to look in the mirror and like what you see looking back at you. Do your best to educate the people around you and elevate as such. If you can't love the skin you're in, don't expect somebody else to love it. And just respect your boundaries and make other people respect those boundaries as well. Because at the end of the day, if you don't respect yourself, you can't expect other people to do that.
That part. Jeep girl, go for it.
All I can say is self check before you project. Because, the only person that you can hold responsible
What's good, Brandon?
is yourself, first off. In an argument, you gotta, and yeah, you do have to have boundaries, and you're not always going to agree. I think an argument really, truly, honestly continues is because each person just wants to be heard and understood. And that's the problem, is you're not understanding where each other's coming from. And sometimes you just need to step back from it and put yourself in the other person's shoes to try to understand them. And again, doesn't mean that you're going to agree, but I just see more disagreements come from not understanding and not listening, because you're just listening to respond. That's it. So, yeah, self check-in is where it's at first. That's all I got to say.
Appreciate you, my love. Mama G, go for it.
Just wanted to tell you, thank I truly appreciate each and every one of y'all that came up here and spit facts. I am on my healing journey. I am on this journey of anger management and trying to change for the better, not only in like real life outside of TikTok, but for TikTok as well. I'm not gonna get a little emotional. I truly appreciate y'all so much. Y'all been there through my little start of this journey, and all of this was really informative. I love y'all so much. I love your platform. Thank you for being the amazing human beings that you are. Love y'all. Bye.
Miss Ducky, go for it.
Yeah, I Mama G just like pretty much said everything I wanted to say. um, but you guys are great. I after you posted the video in the Discord, I was really or maybe it was on TikTok. I don't remember, but I was hoping that that was going to be the topic today, and I'm really, really glad that we're going to take a deep, slow approach to it.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Dave. Mute.
I keep trying to jump down in the chat, and Armiga's making it really hard because he just says things that ping little triggers in my mind. But I have been told over and over again by my brother Ski, be a thermostat, don't be a thermometer. You get to set the temperature in the room. Don't let people set your temperature for you and raise your anger levels, raise your emotions, raise all of those things in you. Earl, don't play with me, bro. You get to pick the temperature of the room and how you're going to keep it at that temperature is not by not letting people that are in that room bring that out of you. If you go through life being a thermometer, sooner or later that thermometer is not going to work anymore. It's going to combust. So, like I said, I jump down in the chat, and then Ormiga gets my wheels spinning here, and I say that in the most positive way possible because he constantly does that for me, and I appreciate him for it. And then Earl comes by and he starts frolicking, and he tends to set me at thermometer level instead of a thermostat, but I still love him for it. But check yourself. Set the tone. Don't let people set your tone for you. Why give them that power? If it's in a positive way, I'm all for it. But if you're allowing people to raise your temperature in a negative way, change the room you're in. Move around.
DJ, you next, bro. Go for it.
When we gonna start the video trend again about men frolicking? But listen,
Hey
another great book.
yo.
Another great book, especially for men, but it's for both men and women. The Way of the Superior Man. Um, you got to sit down with yourself when you read that book, like
That's
for
a
real,
good
for
book.
real.
That is a good book.
Yeah, you got to sit down with yourself with that one. But I think I need to go back and read it too. I'm gonna go back and read 48 Laws of Power as well. But um,
Message that to
I
me
would
too, so that way I can get the link on that.
okay. Uh, I would say this, man. I appreciate everybody for being in here for my growth in these last couple months that we've met, man. I feel like it's been over a year for some reason, but I don't think it's been that long. But
It feels like it.
um, yeah, but I do appreciate y'all because y'all make me, we'll say, still sharp and still. So y'all make me really like rethink a lot of the ideas that I have, or just readjust. But y'all keep everybody keep dropping these books, so y'all really pushing me in yeah, that's it. Um,
That
y'all
book is
really
very,
pushing me
you
to.
gotta tell them the truth, DJ. That book is very powerful. Tell them the real truth behind this book,
Yeah, I'm
man.
telling you, you got to be ready for. You got to be ready for that. Don't go in there and think it's gonna be no a fucking Harry Potter read, because you're gonna have to read a lot of them chapters twice. Because I did. I know I did. Because I understood it, but it didn't click. And there's a lot of things that's still clicking now. But yeah, y'all keep writing these books, man. I got two ideas that I need to put forth the effort in. But also a lot when they said control the temperature. Stop letting people words dictate how you feel in life, because that's one of the things that really happened to me. And even though it was very close and it was my mom, right? The energy came back from when I was a child, and I just wanted to defend myself all over again. So I had to recognize that before I let that thermometer go off. But just be yourself, understanding that you're in the right place at the right time. Make sure that you checking yourself. Please check yourself first, because if you can check yourself first, a lot of the other things that you you can be accountable for a lot more things. And accountability is the only thing that's going to help you on your healing journey. Be very raw with yourself. If you don't like what you see in the mirror, understand that you can always change it. I got that one too. I love that book. The Four Agreements. Understand that you can always change it. Understand that your goal. Uh, understand that your goals. Appreciate that, Sofrito. Understand that your goals can be achieved, but they can't be achieved with distractions. So sometimes your relationship might be a distraction. Understand that sometimes you could be a distraction to other people too. But stay focused, stay blessed. Man, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And that's it.
One more thing, and I know he's not going to do it himself, so I'm going to do it for him. If y'all haven't clicked on Ormiga's profile and visited the link in his bio, he also has a book, Live Above the Norm. He doesn't plug himself as much as he should on here, so I'm holding him accountable, and I'm going to do it for his ass today. Visit Ormiga's profile. Grab up his book. Everybody needs to have it. These books are all a sequential order of the way that you should read them, and you should actually, put in the work. So grab that book up. Ask him for his autograph copy.
Listen, so Sherplet said something in the chat that I've been really thinking about very deeply, and that's doing the book signing. But I don't want it to be just a book signing of my book. I need Hormiga by my side when that happens. It's not something I don't want it to just be a celebration of me, because without him, this wouldn't happen. None of this would have happened. Without the conversations that me and him had over the 3 years. No, I'm not. Why he got an age restriction?
That's okay.
That's weird. No, I'm not removing Hormiga. That's crazy. That was wild. But without him, this wouldn't happen. This is 3 years of conversation
It's the
that we've
book.
had.
The book he put before looked like it had certain leaves, but it wasn't that, and that's what they got him for. I was gonna tell him you might not want to put that book up, but now that he got the violation, that's what it was.
But
No worries.
I gotta keep doing it so that they can recognize it.
Right, so
Yep.
they
No,
don't
we
keep
got this.
banana drop whatever it's called.
TikTok, do better. Do better.
I would
Please.
like to make a suggestion for you and Hermika too, for future buyers that may not be able to make it to the book signing, that you guys order a certain amount of copies, and they could be able to order them from you guys personally, and you can sign them and send them out.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
That makes
Most
sense.
definitely. Yeah, I do got to get some author copies so that way I can have them just sitting at the house for a little bit, so that way I can sign them and send them out to the people that want them signed. Um, but people, that cost money. Okay, it's not free. Just to let you guys know that.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, writing a book is not easy. First of all, it's an exciting project that takes work. I've been happy to work with so many people, and when people talk about me, I don't even know what to say. When people say that, I don't even know what to say. But the truth is that because of these books, I'm going to announce this. I really didn't tell anybody. I do have a publishing company. So anybody that's interested in writing poetry, literature, fiction, nonfiction, autobiographies, storytelling, anything that you want to do in that facet, you can hit me up and I'll help you get started. It's not free, but it's not expensive. Don't let those people take you to the ringer, because they'll make believe they're gonna do things for you, and most of this stuff you can do it on your own.
Hold on, I had to get some. Got his ass. I had to get him real quick. It's been a while since I had to block somebody. Yeah,
I did see that, but I wasn't gonna
I
say
had to
nothing.
get his
Next
ass. You know
time,
what I'm
let
saying?
me
'Cause it's
write
like,
and let me do it. This is why I'm a mod. I was
I
getting there, but
mean,
you
I
beat me
get
to
that,
it.
but y'all were too slow. God damn it, y'all, you
I
sitting
was
there saying
trying to let him know that
congratulations.
I said congratulations to them. We don't care. Now go somewhere else with that.
You know what I'm saying? But no, so we're working on. Okay, so that she gave me a good idea. I gotta talk to Duke. So creating a library in the Discord. We create a library in the Discord for all the books.
Can I say this real quick? Those of y'all might get some weird follows, right? This morning, like I said, there was a few people in the office I went to on my service call this morning. They was listening to y'all and they were interested. on what we do over here. So if y'all get a whole bunch of like weird whatever, hey, walk with them. I'm just saying, because they just trying to tune in and they just hear
Okay.
what we do and they didn't know that I dance like this on Saturdays and they just want to be a part of it. So let that be
Okay.
the reason.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Thank you for letting us know. But yeah, I think that might be a good idea, babe. So I'll talk to Duke about that and setting up a library um in the um in the Discord so that way we could drop all the books in the Discord. So because so far I've been dropping the links to like different resources here and there, things that I've read on that I wanted to open up to everybody else. But having a separate channel for the books that way that it doesn't get over, it doesn't, things don't overshadow each other, might be a great idea. So with all of the chats that they be missed. Okay. Yeah, no, we can. I'll definitely talk to him about that. And Hormiga, we got to talk to him about getting you set up within the Discord as well. So when you go live, everybody gets the notifications.
Duke said he was gonna help me, so I'm gonna reach out to Duke.
Okay. Yeah, he's the tech guy. What kind of books? Book club. So the books that we are referencing is books that focus on self and focus on your healing journey and focus on your process of healing. My book, Monumental. His book, Living Above the Norm. We also have Venus as well that has a couple of books. I will have her come up here one of these days so she could talk about her books as well. And a couple of other books that us, coaches, advocates read on our own time that kind of gave us a different perspective. We're dropping those books in the Discord as well so you guys have access to it. Now, keep in mind, people, please, 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 a lot of these books, before you read them, you have to do some sort of work on yourself before you read these books, okay? It's not something that you could just dive into and think that it's just gonna happen. That's not how that works. You have to do some sort of work on yourself in order for these books to even hit differently, right? And even if you did the work on yourself, even if you thought you did the work on yourself, or you're in the process of doing the work on yourself, and you're in a different stage that everybody else is in, because a lot of people, some of them in the beginning stages, some of them medium stages, they're a little further in. Still grab the books because different perspectives are needed. Being very mindful of different perspectives in the world is needed. You get what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind. Even me writing this book, I had to change my own thought patterns because I hit myself on a nail a few times, and I think I stabbed my foot a few times when I was writing this book. Not gonna lie to you, I definitely stabbed myself a few times writing this book for TikTok, for educational purposes. TikTok. I did that. I did that a few times. Okay.
That's
Even
hilarious,
talking to
bro. That's
Hormiga
hilarious.
about his book, I had to think about shit, and it threw me into a loop. So just keep that in mind when you guys are reading these books. For the people that are in the Discord, I will make sure everything is available. For the people that are trying to join the Discord, that link should be available within my link tree. If it's having an issue, please follow me on Instagram at official mind your mental, so that way, and message me on the back end letting me know if the Discord is working or not. Okay, if it's not, if the link is having an issue, either you need to download the app on your device, or the link should have expired because we made sure the link it didn't have an expiration. So the link should work, but you have to download the app first, and you have to log into the app first before you even do anything. Okay, just keep that in mind. Log in.
Account to make an account before you
You
get
have to make an
into
account.
Discord.
Yeah, you have to make an actual account for the Discord, okay? But I'm starving. My stomach's growling just like Hormiga's stomach is growling over there. And
I'm past hungry. Like I'm ready to eat my shirt.
don't do that. That's disgusting. We're not kids anymore.
I also want to say, love you all. I appreciate your minds, and
Love you
I
too,
hope you
Chico.
all have a blessed day.
You as
Thank you.
well. You as well. What's up,
Thank
bro?
you.
What you got to say? What you
No,
got to say, brother, man?
No, I was saying I was serious about that app, and because I know I procrastinated a lot, I'm actually sitting down now buying licenses and getting everything. I'm gonna do that app you did that I
Okay.
mentioned to hear me out. So please get at me because I think I'm gonna need some input for some of you all to like set the scales on different things, etc. But yeah, that's definitely gonna happen. So yeah, hold
I'll
me
send you my
accountable.
number. I'll send you my number. I
I
got you.
actually I have a benchmark app that you can use, Earl, that can give you a lot of different ideas that you could expand upon.
Wait, what the hell happened?
What?
Val, what the hell?
TikTok dropped them.
That wasn't TikTok. That was Val.
Ooh.
I'm
I
sorry,
don't
I
know
clicked the wrong one. I was trying to drop myself.
that, Val. If you wanted my attention, all you had to do was ask. I love you.
DJ finna cuss your ass out.
I'm not gonna mess with Val. Val is a very powerful lady.
I'm like,
Yeah, I'm in the middle of saying something, and I'm like, did Mama G just? I did not say sandwich.
She just stop drop. I know I am Mama G AKs just drop them, but I don't drop
wait,
every.
who just dropped Val? I'm so confused. I don't know what's going on right now.
Drop it like I think everybody's hungry.
No, I'm sorry for the people that got dropped. I was trying to get myself out of
Uh,
Listen, all this new update is definitely all over the
it's
place. It's
all
all,
good. We know
it's all
that Val means no harm.
absolutely Val's a sweetheart when she wants to be.
the
But no, I really love y'all though. I really do. I am very very much hungry, and I'm about to go make some breakfast for lunch. And
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to your house right now. Don't play with me.
listen,
Guys,
come through, man.
close
Come
it down.
through.
Close it down, bro. Let them
I
know.
will I will cook for you, brother. You know that. So I love everybody that's here. Shout out to all my moderators, new and you know that's been here for a minute. Y'all really make this space a safe environment for everybody that comes through. I know a lot of us don't agree sometimes, but the fact that when we're here, we do agree that we need to keep this a safe environment for everybody that comes through. I really appreciate it, and I love you guys dearly. For everybody that follows us, for everybody that comes here every Saturday, that want to retain the information, you know what I'm saying. For the next 3 weeks, we're gonna be talking about anger management. Okay, just keep that in mind. I did create a live event for the people that want to hit the register for the live. So that way you guys get a notification. Make sure you add it to your calendar so that way it notifies you Friday night for the event Saturday morning. Okay, I love you guys. Make sure y'all tune in tonight for Can't Make This Shit Up Season 2, Episode 2 from 9 p.m. Eastern Time with my brother Mudfoot, Lovebug Central, with me, with Shakes, Velvet Jones, and a few other individuals that are there. Puffy, J to the motherfucking Donna, Duke. We're all just gonna have a good time. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna enjoy ourselves, and
Just so
we're gonna
y'all
go
know,
for
y'all better come with the spicy tea, cause I'm in the lead right now.
yeah.
Somebody gonna
Mama
have to
G's
take
in the lead right
my
now for
title.
winning. So if y'all got some spicy stories, 9 o'clock tonight Eastern time. If you guys see me live on this page, I'll make sure my live event is on so that way you guys see me live. Um, yeah, man, go get the book, man. Links in the bio. All 3 books is in the bio. Fourth link is the Discord. The fifth link is the merch. If you guys want to grab the merch, I don't really speak on the merch, but if you guys want to grab it, you guys can. They have a couple of good quotes in there on these t-shirts and hoodies and hats. So if you guys want to grab them, definitely go take a look and support. Because if you guys want me to do a book signing, I need some type of funds to make that happen. So and me and Hormig, I gotta talk to you, Hormig, about that too. I want to see where you want to do it and where you want to locate that, so that way it'll be kind of easy for everybody.
I should be telling you this offline, but go to your local library and make sure you apply to have your book in the local library.
I have to do that. Actually, I was thinking about that, so I'm glad that you said that because
My book is now in 150 libraries across the United States right now.
Question: can we do that? Can I do that too? Like go and ask them to put it, or they're gonna just
Yes,
automatically?
you can. You can
Because
recommend
I
that they
literally
put
have a
up.
library around the corner from my house.
You can recommend that book get placed in your local library. So that's
They
another way
like,
that people can support.
I got you on Monday. I'm gonna go after I drop Didi off. As soon as they open, I'll be in there and I'll let them know that.
I will definitely let people know that because I didn't know that. So yeah,
We
let's do
got
that.
more to talk about. We just want to get the books done. I
Yeah,
got you. I got you.
All right, we're gonna chop it up. Earl, we're gonna get with you in regards to that app. I'm gonna go get something to eat first before I do that because I am starving. Um, in a world full of negativity, make sure y'all choose love and love on purpose. Y'all keep life simple. Love is the glue. Respect is the flavor. You dig, you dig, you dig. Make sure y'all living in y'all value energy. And I pity the fool who doesn't mind their mental. Peace.